almost full titty. I wonder if that's gonna pick up with the way I started stream. I don't think it did. That would be a fun thing to go back and check. No, it'll pick up with like titty. That will be the first thing it does. And immediately demonetized. Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is not loading the way I want it to. Come on. John, you're still muted, by the way.
I know.
Okay,
I'm explaining to Austin that I mute more often now, so that way I don't accidentally talk over people when my brain ADHD kicks in and wants to say words. Sean, you have a tuft of hair on the back of your head too that's sticking up.
Yeah, no, that's just not. You're not gonna. That's just not gonna go away.
We're just not gonna talk about it.
No, it's just like that's just how it's gonna be.
That's fair.
You just want me to pour water on my head.
At least Michael's is polite and it hangs out in the bottom like mine does, so it's not as obvious.
My hair is spiky. It's spiky now. That's what we do.
Yeah, I have that problem.
I'm honestly impressed. This is the only piece of hair that's like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the bigger thing. Oh look, there's a new thumbnail. I did it. I had time. I don't know. Did I say it exactly like that? I didn't think I said it exactly like that.
It was something like that.
You quoted me, so I would hope it's exactly like that.
It was like
Did I say whole damn? I thought I said whole damn. I don't think I said the word ass in addition to it. That feels like a lie.
Switch it to that.
Well, guys, hello. Welcome. It's time. We're back for the podcast. Week 4, episode 6 that's how it goes. There's going to be spoilers and harsh languages, and if you're looking for Austin, he's always going to be with John. Except for the one time where if you're looking for John, he's going to be with Austin. That's just how it's going to work. But for simplicity's sake, there's also just going to be an Austin down there in the void. And a John, well, it'll be an Austin in the void always.
If only it was really funny if you could, like, take Austin and, like, take a screenshot out of this webcam and just, like...
I could do that if I want. I thought about it.
No, if only you could like duplicate my capture and put it on Austin's thing, but like flip the image so Austin's on the one side and I'm on the other one.
I could also do that.
That also sounds like work, though.
It is. I would have to do it right now, and then I would have to copy it onto everything as we go and as we do it.
I just like the thought of cutting just Austin's face out, and we just have wide Austin for this podcast.
Dun 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 dun.
We are gonna. I'm gonna take an executive decision and say, for the sake of John, do you work tomorrow morning, John?
No.
Oh, cool. Fuck that. Never mind. Let's fuck around for a while. I thought maybe we would have to end at some point. Oh,
I did.
Okay. So, okay. Are you planning to leave John's house at a reasonable time?
Yes.
No. Okay, then. Well, that was two different.
The earlier I work, the earlier I leave and pick up my computer so I can play League of Legends.
Oh well, then I really don't care. You gave a really bad reason for me to. I'm just debating whether we do what we up to now or what we up to later. I guess we'll.
It's more. No, but realistically, the more I do want to pick up my PS4 Pro Center, which is a 4-hour drive.
Yeah, let's we'll hold on things we've been doing. We'll hold on things we've been doing until end of podcast then, and we'll just give.
I'll survive. It'll be fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
I like your optimism.
Well, they decided to do it, so we'll do it.
Death approaches.
I have a thing. It's Black Friday at work, which means there are some pretty good deals. Which means I have this guy now. I have this.
That's a good guy.
I have this guy now. So he's here. He's chilling.
No, that's okay. I have a couple.
I know.
That's okay. I don't need to flex my Poke Plushie collection on him. There's like 2 on the couch behind us.
He'll be fine there. We'll put him over there. We'll put him there. He'll be vibing.
Do you want to flex him?
I don't know how well you can. I don't know if I've ever. It's also that one up there. The Teddy Ursa is just chilling up there. Yeah. I have another thing, but I won't show it because it's not mine. It's a gift. Well, it is mine. I bought it, but it's a gift. And I won't show that one just in case for some reason the person who it's going to winds up watching this podcast for some reason. I wouldn't want them to spoil the gifts, you know. we're not gonna worry about that. Things I've done this week. I'm fully caught up on Elusive Samurai. I was very close. Like,
Nice.
I was, like, 50 chapters away, I think, last week. And I caught up. Michael's like, I got smaller ones, too, I can go grab. We got so many of them. No, that manga, so, like, I was uncertain for a little bit about whether or not I thought Elusive Samurai was particularly good. Or, like, good enough to justify me telling people to go read it. I would still probably say you're better off waiting for the next season to come out and then going to go read it. Because I think the next set of stuff that the show's gonna cover is still a little slow and still a little uninteresting in the manga. And the anime is gonna do it a lot of favors. Because the anime did the first couple, like the first 25 or so chapters, a lot of favors.
Fair.
There are some things I still really like about the manga that you don't get in the anime. There's a panel where it's like Tokiyuki is a shonen. It's basically a modern day equivalent of a Shonen Jump protagonist, and I think that's a really funny line to have in your Shonen Jump manga. I want to say that, like, it's crazy because, like, you hit, like, so I mentioned this briefly. Elusive Samurai is odd in that, like, once you get like 110 chapters in, that shit just that shit's cooking all the time. You just gotta get 110 chapters in. And I know that sounds like a lot, but realistically it's just because, like, it does a lot of, like, world building for the historical record. And once you get past a certain point, everything's just pure fire. Like, every character is well established through other characters you've met before. And, like, the payoff moments you get for things coming, like, full circle or coming back around in the end are all really good. There are a couple of good moments in the beginning of the manga. They take longer to get to, and you're doing a lot more setup. We still won't talk about how successful or unsuccessful the female cast is. Ayano? Was that her name? I think it was. I'm reading it, and that tells you Ayano.
Ayako.
Yeah, the actual fighter of the two we have. Are you sure you're not combining Shizuku and it's not Ayano, and we're just combining the two names? I think it's Ayano.
It's Aya something.
Man reading the manga thinks.
I am currently in the first Neko.
Ayako.
It is Ayako. See,
I'm in the
again,
first Nekoma game, and I still couldn't name half.
That tells you so much. But she actually has some really incredible good fights. That are just like her. Things happen with Shizuku finally around chapter 160.
We take those. We take those.
She has a really cool moment earlier. But, like, then you get, like, the actual, like, moments and payoffs and answers to some stuff with her. There is certainly not a single female character who exists in this manga who does not exist to also like a male character in this manga. That just doesn't happen. Except maybe one of them, but she is portrayed to be being liked by a male character. So, like, she still can't escape. I'm perhaps getting to a part of the manga that I think perhaps next 2 chapters of this manga are going to be fucking incredible. Because it is perhaps one of the longest payoffs in the entire manga so far, and it's really good. I think it's going to be real. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to ruin, like, how long particular characters are around for, but holy shit, this character. You guys have met them and they're still fucking around, and the payoff for them still being around is insane. But yeah, overall I'm really liking that a lot better than I thought I was gonna. I want to shout out one other manga that started recently, on Manga Plus.
Okay, not Sidcraft.
It's not Sidcraft. I'm still uncertain about how I like Sid. He's probably the only thing I like in that manga.
Yeah,
because everything else is very on the nose.
I've read like half the first chapter.
Yeah, you should try to get to the end of the first chapter so that you can understand that it thinks it's doing things that I'm like really meh about.
Yeah.
But the one I want to talk about, where the fuck is it? How many days ago did this come out? Hold on. hold. Do I not have it liked? Oh, there it is. So it's called The Urban Legend Files. This is a horror comedy. This shit slaps. It has 3 chapters out right now. Chapter 2 was about the Charlie game, because it's all about urban legends. Chapter 4 is gonna be about Turbo Granny.
I know that one.
Yeah, we know that one. This shit's really funny. And that's coming from me. So, yeah, like, its humor exists in, like, a capacity that I really like. It follows a guy who is a huge fucking magnet for urban legends and dumb bullshit like that, who leaves his school's occult club because he'd rather be spending his time playing mahjong and gambling and just wasting his life away.
I see how Sean got into this.
Yeah, I didn't. I just tried it. I liked it. But it also follows a main female character who is a freshman at the university, who goes, I wanted to join the occult club. What do you mean no occult stuff happens anymore because he left the club? Okay, I'm gonna go bribe him with Amazon gift cards to get him back into the club. And then all the occult shit starts happening again. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm really digging these two. So she is, for reference, she is Kobeni if, like, she had just if she was a little more successful in life overall, because she seems like a promising college student who has an okay future. But her mannerisms and, like, how fucking insane she feels from time to time are almost on that level. Yeah, a wonderful character. He doesn't have too much, so there isn't too much to say about him. I also caught up on all of Bug Ego. What the fuck is that manga? Those other 2 chapters are
chapter
not...
2. I'm not mentally prepared to go into more chapters of those.
Chapter 3 and 4 are nonsense.
And that's after chapter 2.
Quite literally, I vacuum.
Nightmares.
I don't think I particularly have done anything else. Oh, I will share one anecdote that I told Michael, which is I bought Mario Party Jamboree. We then played a game of Mario Party Jamboree, which, by the way, that game, 10 turns is recommended time is like 60 to 90. No, that's right. It takes a full
it's like
fucking
2 hours,
hour. That game has perhaps some of the weirdest Mario Party pacing in that it starts off really fast, and then so much shit happens in a turn on the board that, like, you're like, wow, that's only been 10 turns. Crazy. We only played one board. We played the volcano one.
Goomba Volcano.
Yeah. It was fine. I want to explain something that happened. Which is we rolled up a minigame. It was the minigame where there are 5 keys and 3 doors. And the idea is you have to match the key to the door. And you have... Michael knows this story.
I know. I have a fun thing to add on to the story after.
So the idea is there is no, to my knowledge, there is no hint about what key goes into what door. It's purely trial and error, and it's purely paying attention it's purely paying attention to what other people are doing, so you know not to do the same thing, or to have figured out what key works by process of elimination, or do the same thing to fuck with people so they don't get more information. So we did the test on the main screen where you played a little bit just to fuck around, just to, get an idea of it. And we're like, oh, this is completely random chance. Let's go. We go in. My buddy Tanner starts off. He picks a key. He picks a door. He gets it right. First try. I look at him. I go, Tanner, pick my key. Pick my door. He gets it right. 2 of us are through. My buddy Vinny's up to go, and I go, Vinny, stop. Tanner, pick his door, pick his key. He does it, and he gets it right. The man goes 3 for 3, and Dylan turns and goes, what the fuck just happened? I didn't get to play the game. What do you know? And we went...
He sees the code.
Dylan then won this game of Mario Party by winning the Jamboree Partner minigame, buying 2 stars in 1 turn, on the last turn, landing on a hidden block to get a star, and then getting a bonus star at the end of the game, and me not getting any of the bonus stars I would have won to beat him in a tie. Which simply I got outplayed. That's just how it works.
I think my favorite occurrence of that game so
you
far.
You should have won the minigame.
I was playing with Amber once, my fiance, and we were just playing against 2 CPUs, and we were playing on the Mario Party 2 map, that's in the game.
Yeah.
With the
Western
train.
Wind?
And I'm down
Oh.
like horrendously, and it's the last 2 turns. And Amber, and I'm like, I have a play to do, and she makes me drink the milk with her the turn before. So I go to the other side of the board from the star, and that's unfortunate, but it's actually fortunate. So I high roll the next turn. She high rolls as well. We play minigame, whatever. The turn after, I place down a 1-star trap. The second one I had, I placed 2 back to back. They were like within 4 tiles of each other, right? Because it was like one turn I placed one, the next turn I
Oh
placed the other one.
no.
Amber comes rolling down past me, lands on the first one on the second to last turn. I steal a star. Then I roll a 7, which is the exact number I needed to get Taboo to steal a second star from Amber, in which then she rolls a 3, lands on the other steel star space, and loses because I get the bonus star at one of the bonus stars at the end.
God.
As a deranged, my favorite Mario Party is Mario Party 5 person. I love traps being back in this game. I love traps being back in this game. It's also
I wish the only thing I don't like about the game is I wish Boo was hidden behind a key more often. Like I feel like Boo is too free to get on every map, where it's like just in your way, and you're like,
It's just too accessible.
Especially the racetrack, it's just there.
it's there.
especially if I'm correct with the Jamboree partners, it can double you up on Boo.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
You
what happens is,
still
like, if you're
need
short,
the
if you're
money.
short coins, you can steal like
Yeah.
10 to 15 coins and then
First.
steal a star from a person afterwards, which is just
Yeah.
rude.
Yeah, I was learning things about that game as we played it.
Everybody's are silly. Also, Yoshi's the worst one, I think. So, like, you don't want Yoshi.
Rosalina just gives you a random item, like a low cost
Rosalina's
value
fine.
item.
Yoshi's copies an item if you pass a player, but the problem is if you're passing a player, they're just gonna pass you and take Yoshi the next turn.
Mm.
So
It's only useful on the last turn.
or if you have a lot of mobility,
I would
like
have
you're rolling
to-
a triple dice and blowing past somebody.
I would have to see what all of them do because I don't know what all of them do. We're not going to go through what all of them do right
I
now
think
on the podcast.
Yoshi would be insane on the racetrack, where if you get like the turbo dice, you just roll like 4 of them, go all the way on the map, and steal it from everybody.
because turbo dice. I don't know if it.
I don't know if it would stop to steal,
Yeah,
but
but-
either way, that game's really good. I like the minigames.
Yeah, I still
Tough to
stand
beat,
by the
best
fact
minigame.
that going back to Super, I believe is the first one that I don't know why we dropped just generic, only 2 bonus stars. It feels weird. I don't like it. I like 3. You have so many. You pull from such a high pool. I also hated there's a sticker one. I hated this one for sticker usage.
it's
Oh,
not-
they
it's not in
did
this
keep
game.
that.
I don't know if it's in Jamboree. It was in the
They,
last
they
one.
removed it from Jamboree. There's no sticker
Okay,
star.
there
Yeah,
is no
and, like I
sticker
know it
star.
was
Spam
in
stickers all
Super,
game.
and I thought it was
Thank
stupid.
God.
Because it expected people to spam stickers the whole game, which
I
is
thought
funny.
it was funny as like a 1 in a million,
Yeah.
but like the fact it was like every other game because there was only like 5 in that game was terrible. So everyone should end up at 999 stickers, and you're like, this is dumb.
I will say, absolutely wonderful sticker in the game. Is the betrayal sticker. That sticker's fucking gold. I love that sticker. Just pop it up, betrayal. No, I don't think I have anything else besides the fact that I bought a bunch of games, and the only one of them that I've played is a I've forgotten the term again for it.
Picross?
Yeah, I don't know why I'm so bad at it. I play so much.
Because the game's called like White Homa Grimoire or some bullshit.
It's called Logi Art because it's logic art puzzles because it's Picross.
It's like Logi Grimoire. Or
Yeah,
something.
Grimoire. So what's really cool about this game is it's a Picross game where what you do is you take the pictures you unlock from doing the Picross puzzles, and there's a Persona fusion table where you fuse the pictures together to make new puzzles. And there's also like maybe 20 puzzles that the guys that the little mage the Vigar you have sitting with you who does the puzzles is like, hey, I kind of fucked up my alchemy. I got some shitty puzzles that didn't turn out to be any meaningful picture. So if you fuck up enough combinations, you'll just get a couple of cool puzzles from me. And I just fucked around and got all of them. I haven't done any of them, but I fucked around and got all of those. I spent 9 hours playing that game the day I got it. It's a problem. I bought other games. I own Metaphor now.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, who has time for that when you have Picross?
Fair.
True.
Yeah.
I can piggyback off
Yeah.
of that. So you mentioned the thing with that mini game. It wasn't as crazy. But I was playing Mario Kart 2 days ago with some friends. I was playing on the race car map. So first thing about this race car thing. I was rolling so bad at the start of the game, I started counting.
Rolling
By
low
the
in that-
end
in
of
that map
turn
is the
11,
worst.
I had moved 42 total spaces.
Michael.
That is lower than an average of 4 on dice.
Mind you, this is the Mario Party game with the most broken movement item in the game and the mushroom ticket that
Yeah.
has ever been made.
The reason this happened is because on the race car track, on default, there's a set of 3 happening spaces next to each other that skip past the first shop. So I didn't get a shop until turn like 13.
And that skip past the boo, which is really cool.
Yeah. I ended up coming in second in this game eventually. But it was a great time. You're rolling
because the beginning of Mario Party doesn't matter.
3, 3, 2, 1, 3, 3, 2, 6, 5, 7, or whatever it was.
Let's go.
However, it was really bad. But then we got that same mini game, the stupid one with the fucking gates and keys. I go first. I go this key, that one. Get it. Second person goes up. As they're going up, I just shout, that key, that door. They get it.
Was this after I had told you the story?
Yes.
Let's go.
I then fucked up the third one.
That's fine.
But still, it was 2 of them in a row. I was like, oh my goodness.
Now think about it. If we revealed that one of those keys was actually a goat, your chances.
True.
What else?
But other things I've done. I also have purchased games due to Black Friday. I think I only bought like 2, maybe 3. If I bought 3, I don't remember what the third one is. So I got Slay the Spire.
You sure did.
I saw that.
Yeah. So that game is pretty good. That's a fun game. You put.
They're making a sequel. I don't know what it's gonna be.
Yeah, Defect is a very silly guy who does very silly things. He just goes, bro, just be throwing out cards.
God, Defect, when you get Mummified Hand, is the funniest class you will ever play in your life.
I think Seekers or Messenger, whatever the name of the 4th class is. I started a game with Watcher. I started a game with them. Saw a card mentioning stance changes, and I went, nah, I'm good actually. I don't know what the fuck any of these words mean.
I actually really like that class. I find it a lot.
So that class is sick.
I mean, again, it was like 3 a.m. when I got. I was like, I don't have the brain capacity to understand.
Too late.
Legitimately, my Defect game before that was me just dumping my hand every turn with like a vague order, going, oh, this card only works if I don't have any block yet, so I'll do that one first, and then I dump the other 7 cards.
If
I was starting every turn with like
way,
7 energy or something.
If you'd like, by the way, at some point I can give you some quality of life mods that are nice to have in that game.
There were a few times like I read a card and it had a keyword on it, then it didn't explain what the keyword was. I was like, what the What does this mean?
A lot of the time, if you hover over it, like if you right click,
yeah, happened on most of the cards, but there was like 1 or 2 of them where it said a thing. I was like, I don't,
Yeah, those are some of the ones where you just kind of have to use it and figure it out.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, it's just here's a random ass debuff that is specific to this class. And, it does a thing.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, that game's fun. I also purchased. I'm trying for the 3rd time with one of these games. Because I bounced off of 2 of them already. I got Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
I've
played like 30.
You bounced off of.
Elden Ring, because I legitimately just think non-boss enemies in Souls games are not well designed at all.
Honestly, fair.
That's fair.
Like, you walk around a corner and then fucking Knife Bird just drops down and does your entire health bar. It has an infinitely harder set of attacks to follow than the bosses do. And then I started playing Dark Souls. I might go back to Dark Souls 3. But I'm caught in a section where there's just way too long of a walk from this bonfire to literally anything. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. So I have to either force my way through fucking rat sewers or fight a fucking big fat onion knight dude at an elevator with like half a potion left. Because goofy ass with saws. I'm not very far. I've legitimately fought 2 bosses. I beat Vort, went to the area after that. And I'm just kind of running around in circles.
You did buy a 3rd game, by the way. You bought Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
Oh yeah, I did buy Lorelei and the Laser Eyes,
which I also thought about buying.
I haven't opened it yet, but like I do own that game.
The other big game I bought was Star Ocean: The Second Story Arc.
Because
at some point I plan to play that.
I actually managed to resist and not buy games. I was proud of myself.
Sekiro, cool game.
It wasn't myself.
I did not have money, so I didn't buy things. But it's okay.
Also, a thing I had technically done before last time, but like I didn't. I forgot. I also started playing Diablo 4 because that's on Game Pass. I'm a whole like nowhere into that game, because You open that game and you go, ooh, there's a dungeon here. You go to the dungeon, you go, okay, I've spent an hour playing this game. I guess I'll get off for today. And then all of a sudden you realize you've done quite literally nothing in 10 hours of playing the game. So I feel like that's kind of how that game is. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm going around. I got to go fight Lilith or whichever fucking god it is in this one.
Cardazine.
Yeah.
I'm just running around doing necromancer things and my little
You go-
goblins
where
at my
are you
goons.
going?
Gotta go play Hazley. Halsey.
Cardazine says, "Fuck you."
Fuck you. I'm Cardazine.
I'm Cardazine. Eat the dick.
Is that everything, Michael?
I think that's everything I've done.
So Mason, outside of
Probably.
14, what have you been doing?
I haven't actually been playing too much 14. I've been doing a little bit more of Dawn Trail Story and leveling some other classes, but I haven't done too much. I certainly did find out that I stopped right before things happen in Dawn Trail.
Nice.
Because that expansion certainly goes, okay, we're done with the story that pulled you in about level 94, and then you don't really do much for 95, and then everything happens at 96. So that's cool.
We love that for you.
Aside from that, I got a new job. I'm starting that next Monday, so not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. So that's cool. I messed up my back pretty bad the
You
day before
sure
Thanksgiving.
did.
Yeah, that was super cool. I almost couldn't get out of bed on Thanksgiving.
Mason, you're not allowed to rival me for injuries. Let me have at least 1 week.
Dude, I'm asking for a week, please. I can't even get through like a day.
No.
But
No, Mason.
aside from that, I've been playing I think I had mentioned this before, but Cody and I started playing it is a private server for WoW Classic called Ascension, where you can do like hardcore, and there's a roguelike option for it where just every time you would get a spell or a move, just rolls from anything that's in the game. It's very fun.
Oh.
That's something.
Yeah,
Well,
it
damn.
gets a little wild. But also, since it's hardcore, you have to actually pay attention to what mobs do, and you learn just how big the aggro radius is on things, which is very large. Aside from that, today I watched Alien Romulus. That movie's really good. Like, if you enjoy sci-fi horror, and if you've ever enjoyed the Alien movies, specifically the older ones, you will love Alien Romulus. That movie's incredible. Aside from that, I've been playing the new set of TFT. I'm grinding that out. It's been very fun. I really like this new set. It's a lot of fun mechanics to play with, and a lot of like interesting builds that you can do. Can't really think of much else I've done, honestly. It's been pretty low key this week, so.
Before we go over to a duo, I forgot to mention I had this happen. This happened 2 days ago.
What the fuck?
I got a flat tire.
Yeah, it's just a flat, right?
Yeah.
Is it the fact that it's on the top of the tire?
Well, that's the tire. That's the
where the
tire.
tire is.
The spare is on the car at this point.
No, it's just really funny the way that pictures him. Like,
Yeah. Well, because
It
that's
looks
the
like a tire
tire.
in the middle of like a slow motion like collision where it like hits him and goes.
That's the tire sitting in my trunk. So here, fun thing. So this is the exact same tire that went flat on me last year at about this time after I bought the car.
Is it front right?
It is my front right. Front passenger, baby. And so, like, for the past month, probably, I've been putting air in this tire at least once a week because it's been deflating quickly. And I'm like, that's not good. I'll eventually go get a new tire. I don't feel like doing that right now, though. And so I'm on my way to work, and I'm like, and literally on my way to work that day, I was like, today, on my lunch, I'm going to go put air in this tire. Like, there is no, like, just, we're going to play it safe, put air in this tire on my lunch. I'm getting off the highway to get to my job, and all I hear is my cars are going. I go, let's fucking hope.
That's the flat tire noise.
I was like, let's fucking hope that's the tire, because anything else will be a bigger problem. And so I take the tire off, and my stepdad is there because when it was the fucking dead of night when I actually got to change the tire, and I wanted additional light to help me see what I was doing. And also, you know, I've only changed one flat tire in my life. I don't want to fuck it up again. I don't want to fuck it up by doing something dumb. So I just had him oversee me to make sure I was doing it well. And so we take the tire off, and he goes, and I'm expecting like that it's just like it got too low, and like it just kind of popped, and it was like that was the problem. Fuck, I ran over a nail somewhere. I ran over a fucking random ass nail. In addition, yeah. The second time that happened, it was the exact same problem last year as well. People need to stop putting nails on my way to work. But yeah, that happened. That was fun. To which then, I work at a Walmart. So I was like, oh, this will be fine. I'll just go in, I'll talk to the guys at Auto, I'll get a tire, I'll get a brand new tire put on, no problem. Fucking don't have my tire in store.
Oh no.
Why fucking would we? Don't have a tire for a 2005 fucking Ford Freestyle.
Who the fuck needs that tire anyways, you know?
Nobody. They have everybody else's tire. Plenty of people get tires. I would know because fucking their tires sit in my screen at my job, and I have to have them clear them the fuck out. But yeah, so I'm hoping they'll have it in stock tomorrow or the next day because I have a long drive on Wednesday that I need to not have a spare on my car for.
Fair.
That'll be fun.
I have Austin here this week, and it's been great. We played board games and stuff. We played Mario Party Jamboree. I don't want to talk about it. We played on the last board of the game that you unlock. It's a good board. Didn't go well, but it's a good board.
It's a good board if you like losing.
Do you like Bowser Spaces, guys? Bowser Spaces are fun, right? You guys like Bowser Spaces? I like Bowser Spaces.
Is Big Blast
especially
in
like
this
when
game?
the Bowser Spaces are literally fucking everywhere. That's really, really fun.
It was 6 out of 15 turns he landed on a Bowser.
Is Big Blast in the minigame pool for the Bowser games?
No.
Damn.
There's no Bowser minigames, unfortunately.
Cowards.
What's funny about that map too is when you land on a Bowser space, you spin the wheel, right? Unless it's in pro mode where you always touch a star. In this map, when you spin the wheel, there's a chance he just says, "No, fuck you, psh, give me the star," and rips through the screen.
I like that. No, that's
really
good.
cool.
You deserve that.
That happened 4 times to me.
Okay, maybe not that many times.
0 times to anybody else.
No.
It was 3
That's
times.
That's kind of fun.
3 times. I lost 4. I think I lost 4 stars, and it happened 3 times. So I got 2 stars during the game, and I ended up with like -2 net stars.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mario Party's good. I've been playing League a bit. I've been getting back into Pokemon. Went to a challenge yesterday with a fun Pokemon called Garganacl. He's a funny guy. And I used an item called Morangaberry. Do you know what Morangaberry does?
No.
That's okay. Most people don't. It raises your special defense if you're hit by a special move. It's very specific and unique, and it was really cool to use. I ended up finishing top 4 and then forgot to get my prizing before I left, which is fun.
Let's go.
But yeah, good times. Austin was there too. He and our friend exchanged teams that they made for each other. They were both shit.
No. The one that he gave me was bad. The one that I gave him was okay.
I don't know, man. You almost beat me with that team, but yeah. So that was fun. So I've been getting back into Pokemon and stuff. I started my new job at U of M for nursing, so that's fun. It's gonna be fun doing that, and it was fun watching U of M beat Ohio State this weekend.
Yeah,
that's cool. That was funny.
4 straight.
And somehow the Lions are still limping their way across to 10 straight wins.
Everflice is losing his job.
Fun fact, the Lions have 18 players on their injury reserve right now. No one else in the league has more than 15. At least 14 of them are defenders. Very cool.
They had like 6 in a row on Saturday.
Yeah, it was bad. On Thursday.
Or Thursday, sorry.
Also having Thanksgiving, guys. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I love Thanksgiving.
I don't know why I said Saturday. That was weird.
But I think that's kind of it from what I've done. Do you have anything else, Austin?
I finished 2 books while I was at my parents' place.
Nerd.
Yeah. I finished the last volume of Unnamed Memory.
That's not a book.
That's a mistake.
No, it was good. I won't say the ending was like incredible, but it was good. There's
it's season 2's
sequel
coming
that I haven't gotten to. I don't think it's been translated either. So get to it soon.
That's how I feel about Prince of Tennis.
But it was like a whelming ending. Like
whelming.
I love being whelmed.
I think the first 3
Dick Grayson would be so
very,
proud.
very good. But like the later 3 were okay.
We're suspect.
I won't say suspect because there's like it's like a solid like 6 out of 10.
That's
Whereas
okay.
like the first ones were like 8.5.
And depending on who you ask, the ending of Oshinoko was a 6 out of 10.
That is crazy.
Yeah, just don't
Which is
ask me my
crazy.
thoughts on Unnamed Memory, the anime.
Hey, it's getting a season 2. Maybe it'll be better.
Austin
Yeah.
hated that so much.
Oh my. And the other one I read was the first volume of a series called The Mimosa Confessions. That one is about a student's transitioning male to female in rural Japan, which is like
A bold move, Kyle.
top 5 places that you probably don't want to transition. Nevertheless, it was very good, very interesting drama. So I ordered the second. Go and read that once I get home. Because
Pokemon?
Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon.
Pokemon?
Pokemon.
Oh yeah, that was another thing I did. I played a lot of Pokemon Pocket.
Yeah, you did, brother.
Have you? God, my polls have gotten even more insane.
Okay, I'm convinced this new event is fucking rigged against you, dude.
Dude,
I've gotten so fucking
Okay.
scammed every
Okay.
single time I play it. I get so pissed.
that Kangaskhan Khan is bullshit. I will agree.
Right,
However,
it rolls heads every single time.
However, I will also say my pack opening has been stupid. I have gotten a lot of Jigglypuffs, but I've also already gotten 3 of the Venusaur. So
Fuck you up, Mason.
Well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, while they pull out Pokemon Pocket on their phone to murder each other, it's time to talk about anime. We do that here. We do.
yes, we do.
We do, and we have 8 shows, and we're gonna. Oh, you know what? There is. How could I almost forget? There is one other thing we have to do before the
There's
anime.
a rating of power.
The power.
That's the wrong folder. That's the
The
right
Power
one.
5 conference, which the SEC isn't right now.
And bam. It's me this week. I'm the problem. Kind of. It's me and John.
I'm not a problem. Listen, I am a solution.
It's an interesting Power Week. There's a couple of things around. A couple of shows that are potentially on a watch list, maybe based on where they're positioning in the power ranking. They might want to be careful as we prepare for the vote off of this week. We'll have to see. I have to defend one opinion. It's fine. Not much has changed from last week to this week about a show for me, which is honestly, I would argue not much has changed from last week to this week broadly. I thought this was a really good week for everything, though. I didn't think any show had a bad episode this week.
Yeah.
I would agree.
This is.
I do enjoy how specifically for John it says -+0 because you couldn't decide whether it wanted to be plus or minus.
Oh shit! Nah, I just fucked that up.
I mean, depending on how you look at it, it could be a plus or a minus. It's honestly just opinionated.
And which one did I do it?
His TsumaSho.
TsumaSho. Yeah, who knows? But
Truly, who knows what Sean was thinking?
Let's John.
Not even Sean knows.
John, I hope you're ready. Let's talk about Don.
So this week in Don, we are on the long-standing quest of looking for Okarune's balls.
No,
Granny
just
has
ball.
misplaced.
Apparently, is
Right,
it
we
2?
don't know if there's a second one. We haven't confirmed nor denied there's a second ball. A second ball has not necessarily hit the tower yet.
I haven't been paying attention to whether he's been saying ball or balls. So
They've been saying his balls, but
maybe there will be.
we'll see.
Maybe that's probably how we get the guy character. Is the second ball.
So either way, we're looking for his balls. Meanwhile, we have is it Ira or Shiratori? Ira is convinced, absolutely convinced, that Ayase is a witch of some kind or a demon. And so her and her goons, as I'm gonna call them, she's like, I need some stuff, and so they get her a cross and like a robe and like a Bible, I guess, or some kind of book. She's like, I need to stop her because she's clearly with that familiar out there with the red dress. Meanwhile, Turbo Granny follows him to school because she says, I think something, and I quote, and it's like, you can go out, you can't do anything anyways, is what the grandma said. And so she follows him to school and just like ditches Ayase and Okaru and starts roaming around and runs into Ira, and notices Ira has the balls. Or specifically one golden ball, because she was walking around pissed off after getting hit on the head, and the golden ball just doink right off her head, and then she picked it up and went, oh shit, what is all this stuff going on? And hung on to it, which now makes her a magnet for bad things to happen, apparently.
Everybody wants the ball.
Eventually they encounter this woman in the red dress, who is convinced Ira is her daughter, through some memory of her saying mommy, and like, just say mommy. Just say it. Just say it. She's like, "Begone, witch! Begone! You're the worst! Help me kill her, Ayase!" And she's like, "You tied my hands. What do you want me to do?" Because Ira tried to exorcise the demon that is Ayase with a cross and her friends tying her up with zip ties.
Which like wild.
And
that
so
they did that.
Okaru tries to come and save Ira. He gets grabbed and eaten. Ira, who refuses to say mommy, gets eaten. And then eventually Ayase, who still has her hand side, also gets eaten because Turbo Granny refuses to help. However, in the process of eating Ayase, she also grabs some of her hair and eats some of her own hair. To which Turbo Granny's like, "You're an idiot, bro. That wasn't even a cross. That was a lighter." Hence why it smelled so much like oil, which is what they comment on twice. And so they light her hair on fire and get spit out, basically. And then we're at the end of the episode where Ira is knocked out and Okaru and Ayase have to try to defeat this the woman in the red dress. They gave a name to, but I forget what exactly.
Acrobatic Silky.
Thank you.
Yes.
They refer to her as woman in the red dress a lot. So
I don't know this particular folklore.
I don't know what you mean. They're acrobatic and they have silky black hair. They're an acrobatic Silky.
I'm sure I will get to the full story of this either in fucking
Ultimate Exorcist.
No, in either Urban Legend or now that I'm reading it, I'm sure some point we'll hit that one, or it'll be in fucking Bug Ego for some reason.
Oh, fair.
So it'll find
Honestly,
a way
fair.
to fuck with me. I thought this episode was good. I didn't have any problem with it. I just didn't think, but it just wasn't as stellar as another particular show this week. A lot of the shows this week I thought had really good episodes. I didn't think. I only thought like one or two shows really stood out this week to me personally. This was not one of them. It's Sonodon though, so everything looks pretty. It's really cool. This character's a fucking gremlin. She sure is fucking something. Her friends going along with it is wild.
They're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Good girl? Like, are you okay? Like
if I'm questioning my friends,
they're also
like,
dead.
Sanity, and then she asks me, "Hey, can we like jump this girl and then tie her up?"
Trust me, she's a demon.
Yes, is not the answer I would go for.
There's a strange woman in a red dress in the field. It must be her familiar, and everyone just looks at her like, "Yeah, sure, queen, go off."
Right.
You're fine.
You're pretty. Whatever.
I also like that she saw Ayase's spiritual energy, which took the forms of hands, and assumed that it meant she was a demon. When they look, they don't look like demon wings. So a wild.
I mean, the fingers splaying out look kind of like wings. I can
see wings, but I don't know if I would go demon wings.
Yeah.
Well, what other things would have wings?
They're translucent angels. The other predominant.
Okay, but
she doesn't like Ayase, so
she's not. Isn't
yeah, she's not.
She has to be evil.
We get a couple good side eyes this week across our shows. I thought it was a good episode.
I enjoyed this episode. I will say this is the end of this arc is what I read in the manga and then stopped. So I know how the next episode will go, I think, and that's it. But I really enjoy it. It's just a lot of fun. I certainly did get a little. I forgot about we're gonna tie her down and like just forgot about that bit, and that was something.
Get her.
The power of God compels you. The power of God compels you.
She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Like, obviously the action scene is like still building up.
Yeah.
It kind of cut off midpoint of the fight. But I still thought that, like, it is a certifiably terrifying yokai to have to deal with. But I like the scene where I asked these two friends are just like talking about it. It's like, oh, you get into a fight with your bag, and she's like,
them calling
oh,
him her bae is
and like the
great.
whole entire conversation is
On the
happening
phone.
through the view of her like her friend's
Mirror.
while she's like doing her
Mm.
makeup. I thought this
She's
was a
looking
very
at
nice
her to
scene.
see how she reacts. Goated friends, by the way.
Much better.
Also,
I mean, like, you can argue like better friends than the other two that are willing to jump a girl for for her buddy, but like these guys are like honest good.
Have not confirmed
Yeah.
that ISA's friends would also not jump somebody for her.
fair.
Yeah, but
They would, but like
In a
Different
different
reasons.
way. Yeah.
different strokes for different folks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But,
Also, I remember the bit of just the flash of the Silky when they're like looking out onto the field. Very great touch of just the very quick, like, oh, let's just terrify you for a second,
mhm.
give you a little taste.
Also, a really nice scene we get is the Okarun almost fucking goes Super Saiyan in the classroom and murders a man. Very
Yes.
cool. We'll talk about that later. I'm sure we'll come back to that. I'm sure he'll work some things out. A little bit of anger management. Good on him.
I like how her friends were also like, homeboy like super threatened a guy because he was bad mouthing you, right? And she's like, oh, he, whatever.
These two are adorable.
Yes.
They're so
They're
cute.
wonderful.
and then Okarun like realizing for the first time, it's like, oh wait, hold on, I
Wait,
actually
Wait,
just kinda
she's
cute.
cute.
Fuck.
What? Shit.
Fuck, shit.
So I just want to
So
hang out with her.
fair.
She was the only person who has ever spoken a word to me and didn't seem
Sure.
repulsed by my existence.
She has a pulse, and so do I, bro. What am I supposed to do?
I forgot. Girl.
Fuck, she's hot too. No, my weakness.
Oh no, she's hot.
Oh, no, she's hot. Ah. But yeah, I thought it was really good this week, as per usual.
It was a good episode.
So good.
Don Zanon, good show. In other news, details at 11.
It's unfortunately,
news,
it's
water
just
is
kind of
wet.
it. The unfortunate thing is that there are a lot of really good shows this season.
There are. I think it's like easily top.
No,
three,
I think
not
I
even
think it's
close.
still. I honestly still think the top three is a very clean set top three right now. But I do think a couple of shows are moving towards like what is going to be that third slot for you as like you individually as a person.
Oh, yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
But like I think now is the time where it's like, oh, we'll talk about when we get to All Guys because it's probably the most applied to All Guys mixer where it's like, oh, as shows start to do more things, the show that's about just vibing certainly is
Just vibing.
certainly does have some competition. Maybe doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
We'll get about it. We'll get there when we get there though. Before that, Michael, your other show, your SumaSho.
The TsumaSho.
Let's go.
We did it.
We did it.
Okay. So TsumaSho starts off finishing off the scene that ended last week. Where they're having the confrontation with Marcus' mom. Where Keisuke's like, hey, that's not how you treat a child. And she goes, who the fuck do you think you are? Actually, who the fuck are you? Walk around with my daughter like that. And he's about to say, this girl is my whatever. And then he gets cut off by Mai coming out and going, hey,
Don't.
you're retracting a scene. People will call the cops. Stop. So then this ends with zero resolution happening. They just kind of go. Marcus' mom kind of goes, "Yep, and I'm gonna grab her and we're gonna go." And they leave. Keisuke like wants to chase after, but Mai's like, "We can't explain this to the cops. There is no way to explain this to the cops that would work in any capacity." Also, she says this like very loud. Because they don't know how to be quiet in this voice acting.
That is
Yes.
that is by far one of my biggest gripes with a lot of animes. A lot of the time is that people that you say shit
People be
way
saying
you
shit.
say shit way too loud. I do not believe that no one fucking heard you yell this.
Right.
But hey, that's
People just
fine.
be saying shit.
I usually let
Mm.
that kind of stuff go because it's usually not a big deal.
My main issue with Attack on Titan Season 2 is entirely that.
People just be saying shit, and they don't be like realizing people be hearing that shit. But anyway, This episode essentially focuses entirely on Marika gets brought back with her mom. She gets sick. And we get like flashbacks of her mom learning just how shitty her parents were. She gets home, house is her mom or both of her parents, we don't really know, were raging alcoholics. And she goes, "Oh, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna go clean up the house. Maybe then she'll be proud of me. Maybe she'll bring me to the theme park." Mom gets home and goes, "Where the fuck did you put my lighter?" Because it wasn't in the exact spot on the table in the middle of 17 beer cans that she was used to it being. Yeah, crazy moment.
She's got a second fucking lighter. Don't even. I live with a family of smokers. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
You have another lighter. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but we learned her mom. We knew her mom was bad.
Yeah.
Because we knew this. Because like her whole motivation for like a lot of her stuff is, yeah, her mom was terrible as a parent, and so she wanted to be different.
Crazy. I think her mom is still in the current timeline asking her for money. Wild.
Right.
Wild.
Mm-hmm. And in this whole kerfuffle, because the whole reason this even bumps into them, Keisuke bumps into them, is that he's trying to give Marika the phone back. So now they have zero way to contact her. Then we have a shot where I thought Keisuke was gonna walk into the bento.
Yeah.
Store.
Yeah.
That's like, because he's going out to go like find Marika one night. He zooms through his work. People are like, "Holy shit, look at this dude! He's going crazy, going sicko mode. He's taking the second half of the day off."
This man has been alive since his wife died.
And then I don't remember her name. The
Moria.
Yeah, Moria from work goes, "Is this Marika okay? She didn't respond to my text." And he goes, "No, she just left her phone at my house." She goes, "Oh, thank goodness." And then this gives Keisuke another thing. He's like, "Yeah, even people who aren't parents can like be nice to children." Obviously, he is viewing a lot of this stuff from, he has witnessed this mom one time interact with Marika, but also understands Marika is a terrible situation at home. For probably other reasons, realistically, at this point. There's other reasons why the mom's in a terrible situation here. But he ends up finding Marika. And like, she's like walking home from school or whatever. He gives her the phone. Then Marika passes out because she's sick. Her mom shows up. Just no questions asked. Goes, bring her home. Blah blah blah. They nurse her back to health. We get later like some stuff, two of them talking. I don't remember exactly what they say. But Keisuke's kind of like, "I was wrong about you. I'm sorry."
It's more of, I don't know you well enough to judge you.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know enough to fully judge you. I'm sorry. What I said was wrong, but I won't forgive you for what you did. Or no, I think he says that later. So I won't forgive you for what. Yeah. Whatever. And then Keisuke goes home. And he goes, "Hey, Ma, I have a plan. I want to go tell her." And Ma goes, "You're a fucking dumbass." And then Marika texts them and goes, "I'm gonna tell her." And then she goes, "Are you guys gonna join me?" And Mike goes, "Fuck it, I guess I'll join you. Three's better than two here." And then they reveal the whole thing to her. And the mom's like, "You guys are fucking, what are you talking about? You guys are idiots." Because that's the appropriate reaction to this.
Yep.
Even after like they lay out all their things about it, she's still like, if you're gonna like pretend that like that guy's your wife, your husband, still, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, like, so they've kind of like rekindled something there with the two of them. And Keisuke kind of leaves with the ultimatum, is like, because of the way you nursed her back to health, I'll let her stay with you, especially because it's her choice here. But if you ever do some shit like that again, where you're like ridiculing her, like smack her against the fence, I will take her from you. You will not stop me.
I have no legal means of doing so, but I will do it anyway.
But I will do it. And then we get a cute little scene where because like the big piece of evidence they give is that he goes, and that she got her members back in around April. Did you notice a change in her personality in April? And she goes, "No, wait, no, absolutely not." Fuck.
I will small gripe this. I wish they would have shown us anything else besides screenshots from like the past week.
Yeah.
That is like the only like because we know she's been acting differently. She fucking talks not like a child. So
Yeah,
like
she talks to her friends at school about taxes.
yeah, like obviously
being
this
normal to
child is not
people.
a child.
Yeah, then we get the cute scene where she goes, "Are you? Am I still? Do you still consider me your mom, or do you consider me your?" She goes, "Yes, you are. You're right now. You're the one who's raising me." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cute. It's a good moment." And I think the episode is there. Probably.
I believe so.
I really liked it. So I liked a lot of things in this episode, but I always bring up the same point with like Austin and Amber, and it's like, man, every single woman and half the guys in the show are great characters. The problem is the main character is the other one guy and the other half of the guys in the show.
Like, I thought he was okay this week.
Yeah, I think we got a lot good with him this week.
Yeah.
I think he's
actually did
okay.
stick the show.
I didn't think he was good though. I still think he's super like
I think it dropped
weird about everything. Like he's super. I still think he's just really weird about everything in the situation.
Yeah,
creates a little bit of like disdain in this. But outside of that, like I like a lot of things they did this episode. I like the mom going through this arc, and I like her still having like memories of her mom, even though if they're not theirs, that she still remembers, right? So it's like she's still this person, and she just kind of probably she forgot her old memories when she gained all these other ones, right? And so I think he had a lot of really good moments with it. It's just still for me, it's like it's low, but it's not like bad, right? Like I don't think the show's bad by any means. I just think it's low for other reasons on my list.
So there was something that actually did kind of get me in this because so Marika goes and she pulls out the box under her bed that she finds. So she's like, oh the box. Oh, it's a treasure box where you put the important thing. The only fucking thing this child has in that box is the photo of her and her mother. Oh my god, there's not a single other goddamn thing in that box but the photo of her and her mother, and that is heartbreaking, dude. That is like, cause one, it speaks fucking miles for that moment. Also, it's the exact same amusement park. It's the amusement park she tried to her mother tried to get her mother to take her to and didn't. It's also the amusement park that they tried to go when she went on the date. Like, so, like, clearly this place means something to the mother, and she's trying to have it mean something to her daughter, and it worked. I wanted to talk briefly about the Spanish guitar track that plays, as I was greatly reminded about it. So here's the deal. I think this fits perfectly. It causes no problems in my brain. I think this slaps purely because of the fact that Michael and I have played Will: A Wonderful World. And that shit does this kind of stuff all the time, where you'll have a very important, like, dramatic scene, and you'll just have Spanish guitar playing. That's the all I can think about is fucking Carlos.
Yeah,
the other Carlos.
Like, two of the characters' themes, like their shared theme is Spanish guitar because they are Spanish.
Yeah, so it'll be like character was just assaulted by an assassin's organization. Spanish guitar.
That game's crazy.
That visual novel is insane. At some point, we'll get you to play it, Mason. That actually might not. That game might do too much. That game might be something you actually might not want to go through.
I'm interested in it for sure.
It does also have
a lot of content warning problems. It has a lot of shit in it that is rough, dude. There are maybe 2 characters in their entirety who are just entire content warnings the whole time. It never stops.
The child is a ball of content.
The child is a problem.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's all bad.
Everything connected to the child's story is just a walking content warning.
But hey, I also at some point in time want to show you fucking Soft Tennis Boys, and that show is also a content warning. You just don't know it.
I love calling it Soft Tennis Boys. That's my favorite way to describe that show.
That's what it is. They play soft tennis and they're boys. But no, I really liked this episode of TsumaSho. I thought it was... I think maybe the only thing I would have liked more from this episode is if once away from the house, or away from her mother, if someone went, hey, by the way, are you someone to critique her on bad parenting when you got depressed about your wife's passing and didn't focus on your daughter for, like, 4 years? Like, I know, like, that is, I think, another important thing that, like, he is hypocritical in that, like, he was clearly a good father when his wife was there. He, of all people, should also be able to understand that when you are a single parent, shit gets more tough. And it's not quite that easy. And you are gonna make mistakes. I wish there was a little more of, like, grounding him in that. I think it would have really helped him.
Yeah.
But I still really like what this episode does. I'm impressed at what they've done with her mother as a character. I'm very surprised at how much they're willing to give us with her. It's very interesting to see where we're going now that we kind of have temporarily resolved this a tad. I imagine we're just going back to the daughter dating. Based.
Renji is a solid character.
And his dad, Renji's dad.
Did the water and he died? The end.
I really did enjoy this episode. I think it did a lot of the things that I needed it to do for me to continue like wanting to watch it and wanting to keep it on podcast. So it definitely had like a lot of like the things that you mentioned, Sean. Like I did feel it was kind of hypocritical and wasn't really addressed with Keisuke, but overall, I think this episode was really solid and definitely what I needed from it. It continues kind of this like care of what we're getting. I guess I don't really know exactly how to put it, but I think more of this is what I want from the show.
A couple of our shows are in an odd spot where I'm like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I'm not 100%. Yeah, it's like I'm not 100% sure of the direction we're about to take, but sure, let's do it. I guess.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Strap in.
I'm surprised they actually like went with like committing to like
we're gonna explain everything.
Yeah, like resolving by explaining this like absolutely outlandish situation within like the the third meeting of this. Just like, oh, okay.
Listen, I had a kid with your daughter, but like it was like 20 years ago, so it's like trust me, it's different.
But also just like the absolute insane jump of like you're meeting this guy for the third time, and he's saying that he will take your daughter if you're a bad mother, but also you know that he's probably not CPS. And it's like
he's completely serious.
Yes,
that's illegal.
He doesn't care. That's his wife.
He doesn't taste care.
Yeah, like that big like wild logic was why I kind of had like TsumaSho a little bit lower this week. Like I mean I think in general I'm just not a fan of them like whole committing to the like she's my wife and we're going to keep explaining it as such and we will like detail.
We will die on this hill.
That's like the thing that makes or break the show overall for me, like by the end, whether or not we get the end in this adaptation. Like if I were to go read it, like what would make or break it would be like what you do at Keisuke in like having him move forward, because like at some point you have to, I feel like you have to address it.
You gotta move on, right?
Right, like, yeah. Like you can't just get away.
Go on forever.
Or maybe they do. I don't fucking know, dude. Maybe this gets wild.
Maybe they just live happily ever after. Maybe he ends up with her.
That'd be crazy. Like, I can't imagine.
That would be an
he just waits another 20
way
years and he's fucking an old man.
No. He ends up with the mom.
Oh, that would be even crazier, actually, than what I thought you meant.
And it's a whole nother show that's like, yes, How I Met Your Mother's Wife's Sister. So if they had a kid, would that be like his wife's
Nope, not worrying about it.
Don't think about it too much.
I think it's smart that they did this though, because now you don't have to have the tension in the show be the mom finding out, right? Like the family meetings can be a little more normal. Like you can like from a story structure standpoint, doing this at this point makes sense, I feel like, which is good. You want your story to make sense.
Yeah.
Have other problems pop up.
Yeah, now you can go like.
Hey, sometimes you don't finally just go to make sense.
Deal with familial problems.
Yeah. Sometimes it's Sunny Boy, and you don't want your story to make sense.
Look, that story makes complete sense.
That should make perfect sense. All I know
really
is
high,
baseball, and we're good to go, brother.
Monkey baseball.
The fact that all you remember about it is monkey baseball is.
You didn't think we'd get it in this episode. You're wrong. We got it in.
The cube.
The cube.
Monkey baseball.
Do you have other thoughts about TsumaSho?
I'm good.
Don't even. It's time for Blue Box.
Blue Box.
Yeah. Speaking of sports, so we left off the last episode with Hina chasing after Chinatsu to give back her phone that she left at the chiropractor. And then seeing that Taiki and seeing Chinatsu walk into Taiki's Taiki's place and being like absolutely flabbergasted, her trying to decide on what to do. And this episode, she's about to leave, and then she looks at like Chinatsu's phone. She's like, "Yeah, I can't like not give this to her." So she starts like bouncing over the wall. She's like, "Taiki, what the fuck is this?"
She kind of does do that.
She's so cute.
And you know, Chinatsu gives a nod, and so Taiki explains the situation to Hina in his room. And he is like, "Bro, we're homies. Why didn't you tell me this?" And he's like, "Well,
fucking awkward, bro.
It's a little awkward, and it's also like Chinatsu's reputation, you know, and so on and so forth." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm still mad at you. So here's like 8 volumes of Jump that you're just gonna have to put on your legs, and you're you know, I understand, but I'm still punishing you because I'm mad at you." And we see that Hina is like about to go to a rhythmic gymnastics competition. It's like it's upcoming, so we see like her practice. We get some very nice shots of practice, and eventually she like a couple times she just like starts to falter a little bit. She's like slipping up on like dropping her twirly ribbon thing. And all her teammates are like, "Oh, are you okay? Are you okay, Chinatsu?" And she's like, "Oh, I've been up late watching TV. No, I just need my battery recharged. I'll be fine." And it's kind of revealed that like as she's talking to like the vice principal, that like, "Oh, her dad's famous, and because of that, and you know all the pressure of rhythmic gymnastics, she's got like a lot of like pressure and expectations on her." And she's like, "Oh, if only I had some goofball that's only like one track on one thing that I can relate to, that I can like joke to." And she looks at Taiki. Oh no. And a couple of days later, she's like, you know, she's finished practice and she's like walking through the hallways, and then she gets like ran over by a guy that's just rushing back to get something that he forgot. And she like kind of twists her ankle, and like as she's just like in shock of like, "Oh no, what if I just got injured? What, like, you know, what about gymnastics?" And Taiki's just like immediately into action, telling like the other 2 guys that bumped into her to go the fuck away, telling Kyo to telling our good boy Kyo to go somewhere, and like helping her to the infirmary and nurse's office, because I actually know quickly. And she's like, "No, but like these are the feelings that I'm trying to push down. Stop." And while they're in the nurse's office, nurse is like, "Oh, it's just bruised a little bit. It'll be fine in a few minutes. Just ice it." And so, Taiki, who's like noticed that like Hina's like off her game and stuff, like starts like basically just going all counselor mode on him, where Hina very much alludes to being like very jealous of Chinatsu and like Taiki's attention to her, kind of like likening to being the judge, and Chinatsu is like, you know, another quote unquote another competitor that the judge is like obsessed with. And Taiki's just like, "Yeah, but like you're not one to let the just stop you. Just, you got this, go for it." And then she gets back into her good old joking mood, like joking, you know, gremlin personality. Wins the prefectural tournaments, and starts joking around with Taiki again. And Kyo's like, "Yeah, this was bound. Yeah, this is bound to happen." That Hina realizes, because he can read the mood so well. And
Kudos to go, bro.
And at the end of the episode, Taiki and Chinatsu are just like chatting in the hallway of Taiki's, and about like Hina and how she won like the prefectural competition. And Taiki says something that kind of like reminds Chinatsu of how Hina talks about him, and and she's like, oh, they kind of make a good pair. She just kind of sits down, has this like pensive moment. She's like, sorry, but like I'll be just for basketball. It's just for basketball, Hina. Hold on.
Hina, it's just for the basketball, I swear.
So, and then the episode kind of.
I think this episode's fucking incredible. I think
It's
this
so
episode
good.
is so fucking good,
Okay,
dude.
So
Hina is the girl who you know is gonna lose that I most wanted to win of any show I've ever watched. Like,
so
just
the
a
bit-
queen, and she deserves all the happiness in the world, and like she's just getting fucking screwed over and unlucky. It feels like
She's my Yui.
She's
my Yui.
it's like Yui all over again, brother.
God.
This one's not gonna be a homewrecker in the post novels, but
If I had, you know, a reddish hair girl that loses, or a nickel for every reddish hair girl that probably or has lost, I'd have like 6 nickels.
which isn't a lot, but it's not that surprising. It's happened a lot actually.
Yeah, but we consider that 4 of them are
Quintuplet.
quintuplet.
Austin, that is quintessential to the argument.
Yeah.
So when I was watching this earlier, when it zooms in on her ankle, I audibly went, "Oh no!"
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh.
I was like, no, Hina, no. It's okay.
But I
Walk it off,
I also think like the nurse's conversation of like, you're stressed. Like you have a tournament. You jump to the worst case scenario. You're fine. You're gonna be okay. Damn. Yeah. That. Yeah. But
Mhm.
also just how does one man get so lucky that he's just perfect for every pairing of every woman who's gonna
Right.
come his way? It's just it can only happen so many times. It's just,
Why can't we get a blue box SS instead of Amagami SS, bro?
This man-
One thing is that Hina make way for true best pair in the show, Taiki and Kyo.
let's go.
True.
Let's go.
Like he also just best boy, like swooping in right at the nick of time. Just be like, we gotta get to the nurse's office. Here, lean on me. I got you. Why are you doing this? Shut the fuck up. We're getting to the nurse's office. Like, you lean on me. We're gonna walk to the office. She's like, no, I'm fine. He's like, you just had like a panic attack. I saw it. Like, we're gonna get this figured out, and we'll move on from there.
I
but
also
yeah, it's just so many good boys in the show.
I really like a lot that like the idea is both yes, there's a lot of pressure going on, there's a lot of extra things compounding like her mental state, but the real crux of it is she's actively been pushing away the person she's constantly used as like her release for that, and she's doing it because she thinks she wants him to be happy in a relationship. The problem is she actually wants him to be happy in a relationship with her. That's what she wants. She don't get it. She's not.
She
It's
no,
unfortunate.
she does get it now. She
might.
had her "Why not me" moment. She's
Yeah.
like, you know what? Why not me? You know what? I'm gonna lean
Did
into it. And if it makes her jealous, it's only gonna make her want him more. So it works out both ways.
There's so much here. The scene of her seeing the ankle bracelet,
Mhm.
just and then it is done so well. Of the scene of her watching them both play and just going, when things get bad and they're in the middle of their game, they're gonna think of each other. Ah,
Who am I gonna think of?
I could not imagine being her, dude. Oh my lord, this girl. Michael's smiling because he's like, I love this
Tonight on Biggest
manga."
Loser. That's fine. Everyone eventually gets their pairing, even if it isn't the person you originally pushed for them to be with.
Kyo.
It's fine.
Let's go, Kyo.
Kyo,
I'm excited.
Kyo,
I'm so excited to see Kyo's.
Here for the friend rebound. It's fine.
I'm ready for him to swoop in. I literally said,
Hina.
"Yo, get in there! She's invulnerable."
I
You got
love
this,
almost
brother.
every. I think I love every single pairing they build up by the end. But again, we're not done. I don't think we're fucking close to finishing yet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is
Some of them, it's like they've
like
they've given us little specs, little taste,
I mean, is it
and the characters like haven't
spoken.
spoken like once in the past 30 chapters.
Yeah, it's
Oh, no, like I love every character of the show so much watching
Yeah,
it.
they're
Like
so good.
everyone is so good. Everyone has their own like role to play. It's just
Dude, the OST
Beautiful.
this episode is fucking incredible.
So
actively
good.
was getting me this house. I'm like, oh
Mhm.
no.
This episode was so
Pain.
good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Pain, Peku.
I can't imagine doing this episode any better than how, like, to me this was like a flawless episode of this show. Perfect execution, like, just adored it wholeheartedly.
Mm.
I agree. Yep. Good show.
Blue Box,
Give me
Blue
more.
Box is good.
Give
Blue
more.
Box
Give me
good.
more,
Inject
please.
it all straight into my veins.
Give me that serotonin now, please. Thank you. I deserve it. I've been a good boy this year.
And now it's time to do a funny. John, back to you.
It is already. Oh my god.
Things did happen last week.
things
Particularly
happened.
last
All
week,
right.
things did
That's
happen.
so fast. I was not ready for
Uh-huh.
the turnaround. All right. So in villain or
Nope.
Wellness. Oh my god. Wrong
I-
show.
No, she's
under-
actually not.
I understand in a
Do-Over
way.
Damsel.
It's very similar to the trope, but no.
In Do-Over Damsel this week. So we ended with her being behind a glass barrier that is like the dragon barrier. That's the dragon emperor's. It's the strongest barrier in the world. Nothing can penetrate it. And so her logic is, listen, I'm just gonna talk to the dragon and convince Rave to let me out. So basically they go back and forth about it, and they're like, well, originally the plan was actually to use you as a sacrifice to kill you while also killing the cursed, and problem solved, easy peasy. But that would be easier done with you and me at his side. So why do you think he left you here? And she's like, oh fuck, he actually is conflicted about loving this fucking idiot. While Jill is also conflicted about loving Rave. And so eventually she's like, I got a plan. Easy peasy. I'll just use you as the sword and do it myself, motherfuckers. To which Rave is like, fuck it. So they break the barrier. She goes up on the clock tower, is like, hey bitch, come and get me. I'll fight you. To which Rave is looking at, it's just like, you had one job. Or
Hottest.
Hottest Rave. They're both called Rave. That's why it's confused.
His last name is Rave. It is
Yeah.
So Hottest is looking at him and Rave in sword form, and it's just like, what? You had one job, was to keep her there. He's literally standing at a balcony going like, I could just burn it all to the ground and just be done and like problem solve, like, and just move on, just like problem solved. It's over. As everyone in the crowd is just like, give us back our females.
I want my wife back.
I need my daughter.
Bye-bye.
And so the spear jumps out of the ship where they find Zeke and Camilla see that the what's his name? Because I forget
The Prince of
Denise.
Kratos.
Or Denise.
and they'll see Bale.
Marcus Bale.
Oh, Baleberg.
Yeah, Marcus Bale.
Yeah, the Bale.
Yeah,
Marcus
yeah.
Bale actually did not die. It was
No,
actually
no,
faked
the
by the
Marquis,
prince who was
not the
trying to
Bale.
sneak him out on the ship into their continent. So Zeke and them follow them back to the ship, arrests the Bale.
His name is Bale. His
Outside of
title
the
is the
ship called-
Marquis. You're killing
the
me,
Marquis.
John. He's not
And
the
so-
Bale.
The Marquis Denise or Denise Cardinal.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
Matrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal.
Thank you.
We now turn.
Well, so meanwhile, Jill fights the spear with a sword in
He
this
sure does.
interestingly animated scene. And then the spear's like, I'll just multiply and kill all the people. To which she's like, no, don't do that. And as she's running out of magic, Hades goes, no, don't do that. And Jill's solution is, oh, she's prideful. I got this. And just yeets the sword and says, 1v1 me, bitch. To which she ends up catching the spear who thrusts at her, the goddess. And they have a moment where she's like, you might not remember, but the second time meeting, she's like, why do you remember that? And she's like, doesn't matter, and breaks the spear over her kneecap and then just throws it. And it says, oh, problem solved.
Honestly,
Jill- It actually
Quick-
kind of did.
quick side note, I'm surprised she did not throw the spear farther, considering how hard she yeeted that ship earlier on in the series.
I mean, she was low on
Like,
magical power.
she
so like,
threw
she
a
was
boat.
time.
that, to be fair.
To be fair,
True.
someone else is low on magical power, and he's about to fucking yeet something really far in a minute. Well,
Listen, he's
Yeah.
tired. Doesn't mean he's out of magical power. He has cheater dragon energy.
true. He is
Um,
technically
true.
a god.
And so, Hades catches Jill, and as he's about to have a moment, Gerard appears and tries to kill Hades. To which he says, "No, none of that." Puts him in a ball, and then
Lord.
fucking yeets him back home. And Jill just goes, "Where did he land?" He's like, "Oh, somewhere in the mountains over there. He'll figure it out." To which I just imagine him like sitting in the ball, just going, and the camera pans, and he just goes, "Yep, that's me, Gerard, heir to the throne. You're probably wondering how I got here right now." As he's
Record
flying through
scratch.
the air in an orb towards a mountain.
First playing roundabout.
Yep. But and we kind of leave off in the episode where they kind of both awkwardly admit but don't admit their love for each other. We have another awkward kiss scene, and that's kind of it for the episode.
They're also
here.
like getting married, like they're gonna do it.
Yeah, they're gonna do it. The marriage part.
Like they're
Marriage
talking
part.
they're talking
Let's
about
be
like
clear, we're talking about marriage.
To be fair, the
Yes.
marriage also did happen at the same age, technically. Yeah, the same age as it did last timeline.
yeah, except
I mean,
one
they're
guy's
still married,
significantly
so,
older, a little bit, about 3 years older than the other one.
Mhm.
Listen, lolicon or sister fucker, pick your poison.
Why not both? That you can argue it's implied that Gerard is both.
Yeah.
Heidi's thankfully is only 19.
18.
18, 19, whatever it is.
18.
He is barely an adult. So we shall see how the next couple years go. But yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. I like the characters. I'm told if I don't put it this high, I'll not be able to sleep in my bed because someone
Fair.
else likes this show as
You know
well.
what? Understandable.
So, but I think the show is fine. But it's definitely on that list of like shuffle. Here's how the shows came out this week.
So,
For me at least.
I was looking at it and I realized that my power ranking is denoted into 4 distinct genres. We have thoughts on life and the universe. We have Shonen Jump. We have child marriage, and we have rom-com. I think.
Well, the one's definitely a rom-com.
Yeah. But I do really enjoy this show. I am still trying to figure out my thoughts on child marriage, but you know what? At least they're decent. But I just enjoy the like political intrigue of the show, and like,
Yeah, by far, what I think is actually really interesting is that the idea that Jill sent them out separately because she knew the general structure of what was happening because of her knowledge of the past, like through history, and then manages to get them on the right path to like stop this from going even worse is really cool. This is really interesting.
Also, Sean, you gave me cursed knowledge because every single episode, this is more fucking Fire Emblem than the last.
I don't know what to tell you.
This is the most like. This is specifically like Fate's level of.
The docks are
dumb
on fire.
bullshit.
The docks are on fire.
Yeah.
You must intercept before he flees on the ship.
Yes.
She is sealed behind a massive barrier while he is fighting crazed villagers. Spears are falling from the sky. Okay, maybe that's a little far. Maybe we're not quite there yet. That's like a little.
No, that's just the crit animation
Goddess.
for the boss level.
Got it. Goddess is insane trying to kill dragon. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I can't. I'm glad it's becoming more and more true for you because I cannot escape it every week. I think this show.
So funny.
I think this show is fine. I think it is honestly. I legitimately don't think I know necessarily whether like I want this or Yakuza to go. Because like there's ideas in both of them that like I think the thing for me is I think I like the general structure, and it's probably because this is fantasy that I like the general structure of this a little more. I also feel like I understand what's going on in this show, even if it's sometimes ridiculous god lore stuff going on in the background. Whereas like we'll talk about Yakuza. I'm interested to see. I imagine we're just gonna get more politics stuff in the next episode, and I think that's dope. So like,
I think we might honestly get like a time skip,
maybe a little. I'm not
I
sure.
would like time skip a little bit. To actually,
like a couple of years.
Also, like, not make it weird, or at least little.
You don't have
make
to be a
little
lot of
bit
yours
less
to make it
weird,
stop being
because, like,
weird.
it's still going to be.
no, give me
pretty
more weird.
But What do you mean? She's gonna. What do you mean? We're gonna time skip like 2 years, and she'll look exactly the same, and you won't get what you want because it'll still be weird because she'll still look like the 15-year-old Molly.
He'll
He'll be
older
even
for some
older.
reason.
Let's go, yeah.
We get long-haired Hattis, and we get her.
Long-haired
still.
Hattis, growing facial hair. Like
odd thing this week that I felt. Rob himself felt like he was animated in like different ways compared to like it felt like in previous episode he had like one way that he looked constantly, and this episode he actually looked different in a couple of shots, and I was like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Like he's not just the same mascot copy pasted into every scene.
Mm-hmm.
Also give him an apple. Gods love apples.
True.
Who doesn't love apples?
Annie.
We have a friend who's allergic to apples.
Doctors.
Oh, right, I forgot about that. Also, Austin, I need to talk to you about something at some point.
Cool.
Oh, no.
This concerns me.
It was about the thing you posted in recently.
Oh, do we have additional thoughts on
On Twitter Twitter?
Yes.
Okay.
The chess with a dog.
No. We can talk about it after Damsel.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's appropriate.
it's really funny.
Real quick aside.
Yeah. So.
Context, please.
So the
No.
context is that. Well, after Do-Over Damsel. Like,
Yeah.
So I am very admittedly not the biggest fan of Do-Over Damsel, partially because of, child marriage, but also because like I also can't get on along with Hattie's, but like Gerard is like very much cartoonishly evil.
Yeah.
Like you raise a sword against Hades, and then when he turns it around on you, you say, "Do you want war?" Like, brother, you are about to kill the emperor of another nation
And start
what the
a
fuck
war.
do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
Like I get that he's supposed to be cartoonishly evil, but I just I think that a lot of it is just like, man, they talked for a really long time in the cage. And I think that like the whole thing with Marquise Bale and Gerard, I think it could have been shown in a flashback at least a little bit, rather than just like top downing. Oh, we see them running together. They're total like that. That's all the all the really detailed explanation you get.
Yeah.
Which is it's not. And I would have liked a little bit more like elaboration on how that collaboration even came to be, because
How did he fake his death?
Like,
How did he get out of prison without being seen?
how did he even contact Gerard? Like, there's
How
a-
long have they been in contact with Gerard?
there's a
Well-
lot that had to be that was like left without.
Ambiguous.
Yeah, very ambiguous.
There is an implication that there's a large mole in the kingdom, in that we know that one of Hades's brothers is in the future an absolute huge traitor to him, which most
Mhm.
likely is how that's happening, is the implication. But obviously they haven't flat out said it. I agree. I think that's a very valid criticism. I also do think there are a lot of things in this show that are like the animation's meh for like the action. Like that's not why you're here.
Yeah.
You're not here for
We
that.
have a couple of shows
Um,
like that, unfortunately.
And like also it's like some of the stuff just happens and you have to be like, yeah, okay, cool, magic. I don't know what the extent of your magic is. You say you're running low and it doesn't seem like you're running low, and then you are running
And we
low.
do some bullshit, some
Yeah.
anime bullshit.
Like you just gotta
Yeah.
this is in my opinion very run of the mill head off fantasy in its for its fantasy element, right? Like the stuff this show does that is probably better is like maybe it's romance. I'm no expert in that field in relation to the genre. I don't know how good of a light novel romance you want to call this. Who's to say? Child marriage, it's tough.
I found an expert.
Yeah. And but for me, it's like I'm actually really interested in the setting and the politics of it. That's neat. I think that's cool. It certainly is towards the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this episode did some cool stuff. I did really like the stuff with Rave and Jill when they're in the red room.
Mhm.
I just thought that was cool. I like the talk they have with each other. I think that was handled really well. I think it's like, oh, I'm gonna go fight the goddess, grab spear, breaks it. So like, is that just dealt with? Is like the goddess now in 2 parts and she can be brought back together in 100 years?
Well, she could do it because of the power of love.
Is she at the bottom of the ocean? We gotta go find her and dig her
Yeah,
out.
like where the fuck?
Yeah.
Where do we go from? Where's the plot?
Yeah, that's what I meant by a couple of our shows are like, I don't know what we're gonna be doing, but I guess I'm gonna check it out.
I guess we'll find out eventually. No, I absolutely agree with that with Damsel. It's like where do we go from here though? Like, I also like how like we'll send her an invitation to the wedding. It's like she's still alive. Really?
Also, I get it symbolic. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't invite her. You don't want her in.
Probably not the best idea.
I don't think you want that. I don't think you want that at your wedding. I'll be honest. I don't think you want evil spear lady at your wedding. Just like would the spear be standing up at the wedding?
Also, honestly, crazy skill set to just have control over any woman age 14 or older. Insane.
Right.
Absolutely no limitations to it. Go hog wild, I guess.
Kind of broken when you think about it. Should be nerfed in the next patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14 is a little too early. We're allowing for we're moving it up to 15.
Well, I think this is right.
New patch 21 for Christ's sake.
Okay, guys, I think we've realized 21's a little too powerful. We're bumping it to 43.
We're bumping it to women who are alive past the age of 35, which for this time, pretty impressive, honestly.
There's like 4 of them total in this world right now, so.
I
Sorry,
think
patch notes fixed a bug where only applies to women whose age is a prime number above the age of 35.
Sean, I do enjoy you changing the current
I think this is right, right? The current topic should be dog aside, right? We're doing this?
Yeah, moving it aside.
Yeah, dog aside? You're gonna give it a side about a dog? What are you talking about? What?
Oh yeah, okay. So let me pull up the so for context just because this is not our usual anime, understand spoiler. Spoilers for those who haven't read the new chapter of My Hero Academia that Horikoshi just released.
There's a new one?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh shit! I guess I gotta go read.
Oh shit!
So
me and Michael are like, wait a minute, what? I thought I was done with that hell.
So it's basically like
And then they
patching
bring
up the ending and and the
Is it on Jump?
yeah, it's on Manga Plus. Let me pull up the exact.
Oh, it's not on Viz.
It's not on Manga Plus app.
Where is
Oh no, unless you release it separately.
Okay, it was something along. Oh, it's so the exact quote was something like, "Getting queer baited by a show
Getting queer
is like is just like losing at chess to a dog." So
you're asking for it, basically.
Because I mean, Shonen is pretty notorious for that, and I saw some very very angry tweets from the Fujo community about it was like in a huge like 8x8 panel of like Bakudeku moments, and it's just like all of this for what? And all I can say is I can imagine some of my friends are
one friend.
One friend.
They might not be happy about that.
Yeah.
We said it earlier.
No.
I'm not saying it again.
Look, man, I'm sorry. Kids gotta grow up. Did you read Naruto? Holy shit, bro! Holy shit! How did they both?
Holy shit!
They both wound up being straight with kids. That's crazy.
No.
That's wild.
That's gay.
And Sasuke isn't even like his official right-hand man. He's just left. That's crazy.
He just left.
He gets the offhand. What?
Oh man, I love shonen manga.
Same. Shonen's really good right now.
Here's where I talk about how you should go read Blue Flag and then experience the ending of Blue Flag, where everybody goes, if this was an any magazine but Shonen Jump, this would have been more gay. Absolutely why. Quite literally, there is an argument. I don't think this is why they did it, but there is an argument that the entire last chapter of Blue Flag is presented from a first-person point of view, so that you don't inherently know that every scene that happens in the final chapter until the last scene is entirely gay. because all you see it from the character's point of view, and so you just get shots of hands and faces and shots of their body from and you're not sure who you're following. And it's just to hold off on how gay we're about to be until the very end. That manga good though. I like that manga. It probably would have been better not in Shonen Jump. With that in mind, let's talk about things that perhaps aren't as gay, or maybe they are. We're working on that this week. Hey, Michael, All Guys Mixer.
Today, on All Guys Mixer.
Today,
or as I like to call it, 5 dinguses plus Suo don't understand a romance. Hagi realizes he might be bisexual.
Am I bi? Was the funniest fucking line this week. You cannot convince me otherwise.
And everybody else goes, actually, dude, I don't think you are. And you're like, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool if you would be, but also not quite how this works.
I love Asagi's argument here. Hagi's just like, no, but she looks like a dude, and it makes my heart go doki doki. And he goes, but she's a girl.
But she's not a guy.
But Hagi goes. Asagi goes, but she's a girl, and he goes, shit, it's a fucking sound argument. We gotta fix this.
Make a lot of sense.
Boys to the lab. Anyway, the lab means they go to the bar. To the bar. They go to the bar, as they do. The show is like 4 settings.
Yep.
It has the houses. Everyone has the same house apparently. They all live in the exact same apartment. It's just 6 duplicates of the same thing.
It has campus.
Yeah, campus, the bar, and in front of that one restaurant. Then this single restaurant they all go to.
Hey, we're getting the forest next week, so
Yeah, true. We're getting the mountains.
We're getting your camp. What?
Yeah, so they go back to the lab.
Time for the holidays, yay!
More like Yowie camp.
Continue,
Michael.
Shut the fuck up.
They get to the bar, and Hagi's like, okay, you guys got to stay with me. Tokiwa, you take the front. Asagi, you take the rear. Oh, I didn't realize I didn't have that max. Huh.
You're fine.
Interesting. No, my gain was awkward. Anyway, so they get in immediately. Tokiwa gets taken by Suo. And then Asagi goes to say hi to
Fuji.
Fuji. And then Hagi goes and sits in the corner because Kohaku is currently not out on the floor, probably in the back cooking, doing something. He goes and sits on a bench and he goes, "Hey Suo, flirt with me." Suo goes,
"Sure."
It does. Then Suo does her thing, and as Hagi goes, "No, okay, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm not bi." Because my heart didn't go doki doki. And Suo goes, what if it's just the person? Then Kohaku shows up and does the whole arrogant persona thing. Then Hagi's like, oh shit, she's hot. I said most of this episode is just Hagi going. It's all Hagi Kohaku stuff. So they have their little talk there. They bump this. Then Hagi after goes, man, I think I like her. I want to get to know her better.
How do I do that?
How do I do that? I don't have her number. And I don't want to talk to Tokiwa so you can talk to Suo so she can then go talk to Kohaku. It's a whole chain of things. He's like, I don't want to do that. Bumps into her in the street. So currently he's real sad. He's real bummed about this. He bumps into her on the street. She goes, hey, want to go to a sweets festival? He's like, fuck yeah, I do. Happiest man alive. This man is the happiest man that has ever existed for 2 days until Kohaku goes, until Suo and Fuji go, hey, we can't go. And Kohaku goes, oh, I guess I'll tell him I can't. And then Suo and Fuji both, as she's ending, go, don't do that, you fucking dumb. Sadly, they didn't get out fast enough. Haki is now the saddest person that has ever existed. He's very sad. Which eventually leads to Suo and Fuji going, hey, you should I think it's mainly Suo who pushes for this. Goes, hey, you should go apologize. Because canceling or something like that's kind of cringe.
And Fuji goes,
not very nice
make
to them.
bread.
Yeah, bake him some, make some bread. I love Fuji just popping up in the back and going, nice, good job. she goes to deliver this roll cake or whatever it is to Hagi. She delivers it. She then bumps into Hagi's sister's shoes because Hagi's sister is there on this day for some reason. They don't seem like they live together. I think she's just there to
I think she's
help
visiting
clean.
because he's depressed.
Yeah,
Yep.
probably. The Kohaku gets the wrong idea immediately. Goes, oh, he has a girl over, who looks suspiciously like him, but she doesn't make that connection because she's just kind of flustered in the moment. As she runs away.
She's hot.
Unfortunately, that's also a dangerous thing to just assume.
Yeah.
But if they look alike, they're probably just siblings. That can go wrong in a different
Are
way.
they siblings or are they dating?
Okay, but like, how awkward is it if you're like, "Oh, is that your sister?" And it's like, "No,
As-
that's my girlfriend."
as
No,
some-
that's my wife.
As somebody who had that happen for 5 years of their life, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it's kind of ends with Suo. Suo and Tokyo are watching this happen. They go, "Hey Hagi, what's going on?" Is Hagi getting choked out by his sister? And it's going, "Who's that hottie you just left?" Because when they're in the cross dressing, they look like dudes.
I'm not gonna lie. Suo walks up, and his fucking sister goes, "Who's that hottie?" And I thought she was talking about her boy. I thought she just never met one of Hagi's friends before. And she was like, "You haven't introduced me to him yet." And then they hit me that it's the cross dress bit, and I'm like, "Oh, that makes more sense."
It's the prince. I don't know if anything happens past that point. I mean, Hagi's once again.
Yeah, we just know
depressed.
they're gonna go camping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then we get the
Clearly,
we're
they
gonna
make
go
up in some
camping.
variety to go camping here.
Well, no, it
But-
seems like the camping's a ploy to get them to make up. It seems like Suo probably orchestrated the camping to put them in a scenario where they
I do
can't.
like
Because
that
Suo
both-
just kind of feel bad.
I like that both Suo and them are like, "Ooh, we kind of fucked this one actually. This is kind of our bad. We gotta fix this."
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I think was this our fault? This is our fault. Might be our fault actually. We hit 'em with
It's not exactly like their fault, but it is their responsibility.
It's not their fault, but their responsibility.
I do like that Hagi had the hard read. He was like, the bros were like, "This is a date. You're going on a date." He goes, "No, she's probably gonna invite both of her friends and you, so it's not technically a date." And then you hard cut to the girls in the bar, and they're like, "Yeah, we are gonna go. We're gonna make this a solo date for you." And she's like, "Nah, I don't want to do that." It's like Hagi was right. The man might be paranoid, but the paranoia speaks to him sometimes.
Paranoid sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes hit
But
different.
sometimes he's got the reads.
Poor
Um,
guy.
Really enjoyed the conversation in the diner with Hagi and Fuji, where he's like, "I need this to be natural.
forgot
I
that,
want a natural.
So
I want a
funny.
natural occurrence where her and I can get to know each other." And Fuji goes, "Okay, go out, drink a bunch, go home, sleep in the same bed." And he goes, "That's not normal." And the two of them,
I go, that's what happened with these two fuckers.
yeah, they're just like, Fuji looks at him like, "What do you mean it's not normal? It's working great for me."
Yeah,
I love Fuji Asagi. Every second there on screen, I'm happy.
they're so good. I
Um,
love Asagi so much.
only gripe with this week's episode that makes it not as good as last week, the last two for me, is that while I think a lot of this is funny, boy, do I know a lot of people who are like Hagi, and that they will do the craziest fucking like visual reactions out in broad daylight, and boy are they the worst people to spend time with. Oh my god, this man, watching him just fucking ball on the ground and people walk by like, "What the fuck is going on with him?" And just like collapse mid-street. I'm like, dude, you gotta, somebody, how did you get this far? You're a college. And I knew people who were like this in college though, so I can't say anything. Fucking summoning circle around a monster. Michael.
That wasn't the only person.
I know
who's
you
part
weren't.
of it.
I know you weren't, but there was a person who was a part of it who was the problem. I'll do the aside for that
Okay.
after we talk about All Guys Mixer.
Fair.
We'll do a second aside.
So, I really like this show. I liked this episode. However, I realized Hagi is definitely the weak link of these three, or these six, I should say. Because, God, that man is so loud for
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
All the time.
And Kohaku's fine.
Yeah.
We just don't have
Kohaku-
enough.
yeah, we just haven't seen her enough. That's it. So it's fine. It's not. It's definitely towards the bottom, but I do still really enjoy this show. I think it's a lot of fun.
I just have a good time. I guess it was just a good time.
Yeah, it's just vibes.
I definitely agree. Like Hagi is definitely like the weakest link, but it's not like it's not for lack of trying. I feel like the
Yeah.
dude
Yeah.
is trying at times. He's just super pessimistic and super unlucky, which does not help in terms of timings. But I do like that we're starting to slowly progress his plot a little bit here and actually starting to like get some growth in him. But I just don't know if it's gonna like add up in the end, right? Compared to like I like the other characters all more than I like his arc so far.
I think I needed to like, stick a little like, sooner rather than later. Like I don't want to have to wait till like the last episode to get like, measurable, like actual definitive progress between these two. But like, if it happens in the next episode, then I'll be like, please.
I think it will.
Yeah.
I do know this is apparently a decently long-running manga, and it's a very slow burn manga. Like
Fair.
it just
That doesn't
they
surprise
just
me.
vibe.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It checks, but I'm not happy about it.
But also, it also feels like it's probably like you could easily cram like four chapters into a single episode with this kind of like.
You could tell me this was a 4 coma, and I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I really like the ones like at the end of the conversation in one of their rooms, and there's like, and like the response to. I'm not into guys or something like that, and Asaki's like, we can test that, and I was like, oh, if they pull like a Daylight Size with the boys and they're just like pulling down their pants like.
I saw that and I was like, oh, this.
It was very obvious to me that he meant they were gonna go to the bar, but I do think that's a very funny interpretation of that.
It
funny,
certainly
yeah.
was.
So fucking
Like obviously I know what's gonna happen, but it was so
Yeah.
funny.
When I like first started it, I kind of had forgotten what show we were in for a second because I was kind of in and out for a sec, and I was like, "Oh, this can go really badly so fast
That's like
for
he
this."
just kisses him. Problem solved. Are you
Just
or
rip
are
on me
you
the
not
walls, bro.
bi? I do like that there is a distinction here, right? Like it's an important converse. It is a semi-important conversation to be like, you are not bi because you find a girl who acts like a guy attractive, right? Like that
Mhm.
doesn't mean you're bi, like because you can be a person who does not conform to a gender role, and still, however, be a person of a sex that you are attracted to, right? So like it's a very nuanced discussion. And while I'm all here for a bunch of bi kings,
Mhm.
I don't think Haki's bi.
No.
I think he's confused.
Okay,
He's
but
bi
what if for him and
confused.
Toki would start making it?
And you never know, man. Good point. You
I
can prove
think
me
maybe
wrong.
bi. Curious.
Imagine getting queer baited by shonen manga.
Maybe
Do a
me.
dog and chest.
Never
And
happened.
it all comes back around, baby. It all comes back around to the start of the episode. Yeah.
It wasn't really an aside.
Okay, listen. I will say though, every time I watch Mixer, I know I'm in for a time. Whether it's a good time or a confusing time, I'm in for a time, and I like that.
Yeah, it's time.
This is also one
It's
of those
just
shows.
vibes.
This is one of those shows that
vibes.
talking about it reminds me how much I like the show more than after I've like it's one of those shows where you
Mhm.
talk about the bits that happen, you're like, damn, that was good. Yeah, that was funny. I really like
It
that.
was just a fun time.
But if you
Yeah.
just like let it sit, I'm gonna forget about it.
That's the thing is like it's the most forgettable show that we have, I feel, but it is one of the shows that I have some of the best time with, weirdly, because I know what I'm getting out of it.
Yeah.
I never expect a 10 out of 10 of any episodes from this, but I'm getting like absolute 7.5 to 8s every single time
Single week.
Yeah.
with 10 out of 10 bits. I'm never gonna have a bad time with the show
Yeah.
because I'm just watching 5 dinguses and Suo exist.
And then child marriage walks in somehow and we can't escape.
I lose it.
So here, so before we move on, quick, let me tell this aside about what I mean by I knew people who acted like dinguses in public, like Hagi does. So we were hanging out as a group. I think coming from club, we were gonna go eat. I think we were going out somewhere, or we're just going back to our dorm, one of the two. So we had I think a group of like 7 people, and it's a weekend night, which means that I was doing newspaper things, but I had gotten away because I had done my portion of my job properly ahead of time and was fine. But I went, you know what? On the way to our dorm, we passed the communication building on campus, so I'm just gonna go check in and see that everything's going good with everybody else. So I go in. Everybody, everybody continues to walk down the main path. I stop in, do my thing. This is a building that requires you to have swipe access to. It is an academic building that is also right across from public safety. And also right on across from one of the main roads, like on the campus. And I walk out the main door, and all I see is the other 6 fuckers, all standing around a monster can, set in the middle of the sidewalk, all holding hands, spouting nonsense. And I goes, guys, what the fuck are you doing, and why are you doing it in front of my academic building? Like, it's one of those moments where it's like, I stepped away from the group, I entered professional mode, I walked out still in professional mode, and went, that can't be fucking happening here. I can't be seen with any of you fuckers right now.
The dumb shit that happens in college.
Yeah, and all I can imagine is that someone went, you know what'd be really funny, and then they did it.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what happened.
Yeah, I'm so confident that that's exactly what happened.
I'm trying to think of who it would be. I think I could name.
I could
probably most of the group.
I think I know exactly who they all are. Because you, Jackson was probably there.
Probably.
Aiden was probably there.
Aiden was one I wouldn't think.
There's a chance Fen was there. Almost certainly, actually, Fen was probably there. Teddy was probably there, given the context of we were coming from club. He's the one I'm not certain on. Maybe not.
Yeah.
And then AJ was there. I know AJ was there.
Yeah.
That's probably all of you. That was probably everybody. Fun. Hey, Austin. Orb.
Certainly a decision. For Orb. That's you.
I'm gonna send the screenshot for Orb because I just want to remind you all that this scene did indeed happen.
I'll pull it. I got you, fam.
Oh yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, I hated that.
So we begin with Oxy talking, going into the church to meet the monk who kind of whose name is Badeni. It kind of like rebuffs him a little bit. It's like, hey, you're a man of blood, I'm a man of God, kind of thing. Like, away from me. Just give me a little difference. And Oxy like offers up the book of what's it, Gross? Yeah. Gross. Yeah. Of Gross's observations. But then it's like, before you give this to me, is it going to change? Is it going to change my life? And so he takes a look at it and he sees like the the Mars observations of Gross, and he's like, okay, this has some good merit to it, but I'm gonna need to see more because it's incomplete. You haven't shown like the retrograde of Mars when it like starts looping back and doesn't become a circle. And he's like, yeah, he kind of gave up on it, and then he died.
He got a little pissed.
But then it's like, okay, well, I still need to see more, so I need you to continue the observation of Mars for me. And this is like cut in at some points by a flashback of Badeni in his like younger years as a monk, where he just kind of doesn't want to. He's like very clearly gifted. He's doing like a bunch of like research work, and the head monk was like, you're supposed to be doing this in groups of like 10, but then it's like, yes, but I don't need to work with people who are beneath me and are stupid.
Based.
and so they take him down to the usual room, and they just beat the shit out of him because he needs to stay in line and not because he needs to
Almost
stay in
bigger,
line.
yeah.
and he said he gets scolded because he needs to work with other people, and then he starts to speak up, and then the head monk is like, shut the fuck up, for speaking out of turn, give yourself a lash. And so he takes the whip, and then he like flogs his wrist like 8 times until it's bleeding, and then he like continues to make his case about like why he should, like, he is gifted, he should be in like academia more, and like researching other and deeper and like potentially more taboo topics. And the head priest says, no, you're too young, you're too arrogant. If you look at any like forbidden materials, I will burn your eyes. Which is terrifying. Yeah. So he goes about, and eventually comes across, he's walking through the street, and he's passing by like the church, and through the open window of the head monk's room, he sees like forbidden script, like a book, and he's like, oh, he knows like immediately that it's like forbidden knowledge, and he just dives through the window, grabs the book, and starts to open it, when like immediately the head priest and like two inquisitors like are walking in behind him, and the head priest like, what are you doing in my room? Why do you have that forbidden knowledge in your hand? And the priest basically says, the head monk basically says, well, I didn't see you looking at the forbidden knowledge, so I can't really say that you did anything with it. But if you open it up, I will have to burn your eyes. But then he's like, it's worth it. And he opens it up, tries to read as much as he can, then just gets taken down. And yeah, now that's why he has an iPad. And that was kind of. Back to the present, but then he tells Oxy like to continue the research on Mars, and eventually approves of like his observations, which Oxy had to do because he had to overcome his inability and unwillingness to look up at the sky and when he does, he sees a bunch of with the unknown heavens. And eventually Oxy requests Bedeni requests Oxy to take him to Rafal's notes, where Bedeni like looks through them and goes through and talks about how it will like legitimately change the whole world, the whole universe, and and gives a very good explanation of like why Mars is going into retrograde by like sticking a stick into the ground and like circling it, and say, hey, run past me, but between me and the stick, and I will show you why it's going into retrograde. And he uses that like perspective to kind of reference like the Earth is moving, to explain why that the Earth is moving, and that's why Mars appears to be traveling the way it. And in that, Oxy kind of like realizes that like has like another like revelation about like the heaven and earth being like much more alike, as the two people who have like died for him were the only two people that weren't afraid of. They were like the only two people who felt that like living on Earth was like better than trying for.
Yeah.
I thought this week was sick. I'm gonna say it. Like,
That's
I thought
awesome.
this
This
was
was so good.
I think the analogy of like going like, hey,
run past me and I'll explain why this happens, and then breaking it down and going like, oh shit, he gets it. And you kind of see the parallels between like Bedeni and like Rafal, where it's like they're like a genius beyond their time. And unfortunately they're like inhibited in how they can do research. The difference is one died for their goals, and the other one said, okay, I'll step back from it, but I'll keep it in the back of my mind should I get the opportunity to, which he is now. But yeah, I love the way they show that, because I'm like, oh, that is like the exact way you could understand this in like the most basic sense back then, right? Because it's hard to like theorize it, but once you put it into like practice, it makes a lot more sense right away. Because you're like, oh yeah, it just does. It makes it explains how like that appearance would appear if you were like measuring it with like the astrolabs that they're using to like see how it's doing. And so I just love that part of the episode mainly, like most of all, because it's just super cool like way to break it down, at least in my opinion.
The bit that got me this episode was seeing him look up into the sky earlier on in the episode and seeing the eyes, and then him having this all explained to him and getting the idea that no, we're not below the heavens, we're on the same level as them.
We're part of the heavens.
And we're a part of them, and being able to look up into the sky and see the sky and see how beautiful it was just fucking got me. It's such a... This show's so good.
It's so cool.
It's just fucking awesome, man. Oh my goodness. Everything
with the planets, bro, and like the sky and shit.
No, I really like a lot of the concept explanation. I really enjoy. The show's fucking beautiful. I think it's really interesting that while Rafal and Bedeni are both similar, they're different in that Rafal was willing to completely and fully like his idea of what he was trying to prove was that like the view from the church was wrong. Like God didn't create this perfect. But Bedeni's view is that no, he created something. He created something beyond what we think he created, and we have to understand it. It's a
perfect situation that we just don't understand quite yet, and we think we do.
It's really interesting to see how to either see how his brain has worked in theology to his research, or how the theology is shaping his perspective to like he's not fully broken from it, where he's like, this is going to disprove what the church is saying. To him, there is a way to both learn this and teach it to the rest of the church without being a heretic. Like there is a spin you can put on it that makes sense.
Exactly.
And he actually sounds incredibly convincing when he talks about it. It almost makes you wonder why it's such a crime, right? And then you have the head priest talk a lot of the time, and it's the fact that they're so hard pulling from like the gospel, right? Like he is
the direct one-to-one, yeah.
Like it is Bedeni going, but if like you think and you investigate, you'll see that this is a puzzle that God wanted us to solve. And he goes, well, no, the Bible tells us don't fucking solve puzzles, idiot. That's sin. Stop.
Puzzles are cringe, brother.
Stop solving puzzles. Solving too many puzzles makes you sin. I think the big thing for me though is that right now, I'm still not fully sold on Bedeni, nor am I particularly sold on Ozzy either. Like the two of them to me aren't as enjoyable as Rafal was as characters. I'm liking what we're building to with them. This show's nowhere near at all being close. Like this show is still absolutely probably like a top 3 show. It's just there are other things that are closing in on it for me. And like, but that's just because I had such a strong fucking opening 3 episodes. Like, it cemented itself there. It built itself enough time to do this and to have a slower setup. That I'm still really enjoying the show. It has not yet gone back to reaching the same highs for me as it did in its first 3, which is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for it to like, I'm waiting to see where it's gonna go and for it to really kind of change up a little bit about what it's doing, because I still do kind of feel like some of this stuff is still a little too samey to where we started with Rafal, but that's because you have new people learning some of the same things, which is just maybe like, to me, this is a long show, so I just gonna let it cook.
Let him cook.
It is indeed another 24.
Yeah,
another 2 core.
This shit's good. This shit's just so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, this is an incredible show. It's so good.
It's also like I just need more. Give me more. Keep showing me. Show me the good shit. Give me that good shit.
I will say, it makes
straight to the veins.
perfect sense for the kind of show this is. And this is really not a problem when watching the show. It's only a problem when I have to go to grab fucking screenshots from the show. This show is so fucking dark. Like, not tone. Like, visually, this show is so dark that, like, this is almost...
Yeah, Sean, it is metaphorically dark. You're like, no, it's physically dark and a pain in the ass to grab pictures.
I get it. The show's about the stars, so it has to be dark 90% of the time. But I'll give it a compliment. It's not like Hollywood-style dark, where shit's too fucking dark that you can't see goddamn anything. You can at least make out everything that's happening in these scenes.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
Example, Michael.
Just dark.
Just dark. Just dark.
It's gonna be an interesting thing. It's like when and if / when, because you know they are going to get caught. Like, what's the out here? Are you able to spin it in a way that gets you out? Do you have to run? Do people die? Like,
Ozzy can't get out of this again.
This is the first point in the show where it's like I don't know. Like, with a lot of the other ones, you're like, okay, I know they're gonna die. They're the heretic. They're gonna kill them. Yada yada yada. This one, you're like, oh, hang on, they got a point, right? And so like, it's at that point they're like, okay, maybe they do actually like are able to like solve this riddle, right? And like kind of like how to like make the world understand that it is okay to accept this as reality, you know?
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is like Rafal made the choice because he didn't feel like he had a better out to like, besides like, to him there wasn't a way for him to get around not having to share the location of his notes. And so there was no way he was giving up the progress that was made in the time he was working on it because he felt it was so significant. Which I think makes a lot of sense. Now you're farther along, I imagine, by the time these guys will get caught, that it's like, you might have come up with additional, like, you might have come up with, like, the Kira put the notebook underneath the slab of the desk to burn the stuff and still have the original play. Like, you can get some convoluted bullshit here to get around having to give away your only documentation for the research, I'm sure. But I am also a little curious. And you got a man of the church on your side, like, very clearly on your side now. So it's like, you have a little bit of leeway, probably. Well, yeah. Hey, Mason. Hello.
Hey, Sean.
You're here.
I am.
You want to talk?
I finally get to talk.
For how much
Maybe
longer?
For
how much longer we won't know, but you get to talk.
Yeah, so Yakuza Fiancé. So this week, they are back in Osaka, because Yoshino wants to go home, and Kirishima meets up at a party with a girl that he fooled around with 3 years ago, who at this point is a famous model and is acting like she doesn't know him because her friends introduce her. And they talk to each other a bit more after this little run-in, and he gives her a card with what we find out later is most likely the head of like a television agency for his contact information, and writes his own phone number on the back of it. Says, yeah, if you have any problems, just call me. Which is very clearly a, hey, if you want to fuck around again sometime, just hit me up. At least to me, that's what it seemed like.
I think he's cooking something bigger than that. But
He
I
thinks.
don't think we know.
Yeah, he definitely seems to be cooking some stuff up because he then stalks her Twitter and finds out she's going to be in Osaka right as Yoshino is saying that she wants to go to Osaka, go home. So he's like, oh yeah, we can definitely move that up from like August to July. I really want to go with you. It sounds like a great time. So they go to Osaka. He's putting on the nice boy act and is like making everyone around that knows Yoshino really like him. They run into Shoto. I don't remember what his is. This childhood friend. At this like I think like okonomiyaki place
Soma?
that they go to. Shoma.
Shoma.
Yes, Shoma. I knew it was Show something. I could not remember. Shoma and Kirishima butt heads a little bit, Kirishima ends up they end up like going to dinner for a bit, and then Kirishima kind of peels off from Shoma and Yoshino. Goes like, yeah, no, you guys you head home. I got a hotel for myself. Y'all have fun. I'm just gonna hang around Osaka and kind of figure stuff out, and then immediately goes and fucks now. And that's kind of just how the episode goes.
This is a part one for what.
Yeah, this is a part one, so it's kind of setting up what seems to be all cooking for next episode. Kirishima's definitely pulling some shenanigans here, and I still don't know exactly what they are because he has set all of this up way too well.
I imagine he's trying to get to the guy who's eyeing her, who was her ex. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But they both happened to be in the same spot at the same bar at the same time. He bumps into her. He's probably been keeping an eye on her. He probably hooked up with her the first time for the exact same reason, was that he was eyeing this guy earlier. Because they mentioned that her ex's father is the head of a corporation, and that girls have been going missing.
Yes.
Because they take them to like parties and then they disappear. So, like, I'm sure he's fucking cooking something for a job he's doing. It feels really weird to me that he just fucks her. Because of the way his relationship with Yoshino is developing, is the problem.
Yeah.
Really, he's still working, is how he treats it, right?
Yeah.
He's not treating it as romantic at all, and you can see that by how unserious he is after engaging in acts. He's like, anyways, I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm gonna hit the shower, guys. See you in a minute. and in that, like, it's like he doesn't really care, and that's very evident and very clear. I think that's very important for him as a character to honestly like not put as much onus on it, because of how his relationship with Kirishima is, or Yoshino.
Yoshino, yeah.
So it's interesting, but at the same time, it's like you're saying, like he clearly is here on other business, and for reasons that probably related to what's going on there. So it's like it's hard to get a beat on him because it's like, you know, he's not a good guy, but he's kind of been a good guy, or he's like trying to be a better guy for Yoshino because he actually does like her and he has a history with her and all this stuff. And at the same time, it's really important because her friend
Tsubaki.
What's his name?
Oh, Shoma.
Yeah, Shoma was like, hey, you really should like figure out where he's going when he's doing this, because this is really, it's not just that he doesn't want to share, it's that he's being suspicious and he's doing things behind your back that could be dangerous to you in the long run, right? In reality, obviously, he's like looking out for a valuable contact that he also somewhat has a history with, that's also friends with Yoshino. So it's like he's kind of playing like 5 hands at once right now that are all coming up in his favor, right? So
here's an important here's a small thing I will grab about this show. They give her the same eye design as Tsubaki. And she does not look drastically different from Tsubaki. That I ain't gonna lie, it took me a little. It honestly took me until she went to the bathroom and went, I fucked around with that guy and went, okay, that's not, I forgot names. Definitely not the same character, but boy, was I not expecting someone else to have that exact same eye design and looks similarly enough.
Right.
Yeah.
The eyes are so fucky, dude. Every time I see them, it's just like,
I love it. I think it's cool.
It's really neat.
It's really weird.
I like having shapes for eyes. I think that's rad.
Yeah.
Much better than eyes for shapes.
What, you don't like square people?
Yeah. Not a big fan. I think the stuff we get at the start of the episode's interesting. The idea of like Kirishima just like doesn't have people that he talks to who are friends, let alone someone who you could probably call an actual girlfriend. It's interesting. We're just gonna move on because this isn't happening. I don't know. There is also something really interesting about him being like, hey, I talked to you about food and the weather because I don't get to talk to anybody else about that. Crazy.
Hey, man, I just want to have a normal conversation and not have to kill a motherfucker.
But then he's also like, And the problem with girls is that all they do is talk about themselves when they come to talk to me. And then they go to Osaka, and she goes and she shops and she talks about herself the whole time. And I'm like there's
Brother.
I'm like, there's no, like, she actually doesn't engage with him in, like, any regular conversation. Like, I get that she's talking about her home, so it's a little different than what he was complaining about, but it's like, how much do you really distinct? You just don't like the other girls.
Yeah.
Girls be yapping, right, fellas?
I can't say yes. She might be listening.
I thought she was asleep.
She watches on their phone when she sleeps.
I think the show's fine.
I refuse to incriminate myself under oath.
Played the fifth.
Plead the fifth.
I did have sexual relations with that woman.
Wild.
I was like thinking about the math, and he
Now?
yeah.
No.
And that was like 3 years ago. I was like practically in his bed every day. And I was just like,
Yeah, that was a bit where it's like, oh, wait, you are.
damn,
Yeah.
you middle schoolers got busy.
Where are you now?
Japan be I will say I laugh. I audibly laughed when he takes his shirt off and he goes, "Don't worry, I'm not Yakuza." That fucking gets me. I don't. There's something so funny. On one hand, I don't.
He's Yakuza.
On one hand, I don't know if in his mind he actually does so consider himself far removed from the family that, like, yeah, he fucks around with crime and stuff, but he isn't really Yakuza. Or if he is just fucking with people, he's like, I'm not Yakuza. The tattoos are just, I really like
It's
the
just for
art.
show, brother. It's just we're just just for
Dragons are so cool, dude. Everybody should
Bro.
full back dragon tattoos.
That's like it is one of the things that does take me out of it. It's just like it's a Tokyo Revengers effect where you're like, oh, they're doing all these bad. What do you mean? What do you mean they're 15? You know,
Right.
Imagine
But,
the
like-
Yakuza series, but Kazuma Kiryu is just 15.
Right.
That story don't work.
like it's it is a 2-part episode.
Yeah.
So it is like very clearly like building toward the climax with like that other guy. And it's
that one that like
Generally a lot of
caught him
ex-
giving the card like out of the corner of his eye.
yeah.
Yeah, he's been eyeing Mao the entire time.
Yeah.
Don't worry, he's not Yakuza. He promised.
Don't worry, he's not Yakuza. He kills. Like,
He kills Yakuza, but he's not Yakuza.
this man gonna pull guns on you. Michael?
I just wish I cared more about the show. I don't know. I like the end of this episode, I'm just like, eh. Like we see Shoma, and I'm just like, oh, look at him! Wow.
He essentially does nothing but move her groceries into her house this episode. It's kind of funny.
He gets to be the butt of a joke where all the old ladies are like, ooh, look at this man! Like gives Kirishima money for being hot.
Gives him
And they
like
go,
$1.
Shoma, why don't you talk like that distinguished young gentleman over there? And he goes, shut up.
You should go.
I love the part.
put your
I love the part where he's like
Bangs
going to
on
light a
your
smoke.
eyes.
He's like, "Fuck, this guy's here," and she goes, "Don't you smoke here?" She's smoking. He's like, "You're literally smoking." She's like, "Yeah, it's my shop. Fuck you."
I own this property.
What's it to you?
No smoking sign. Owner smokes. Crazy.
Love
So
it.
it's just kind of eh.
Classic bum town.
Like Yoshino's great.
Osaka.
Osaka. Good time though.
Okay.
Any other thoughts on the shows, guys? Are we fishing?
I think we're angling.
I think it's fishing
I
time.
think it's time for the angle.
The angle of the dangle?
I don't know why you said that, but we'll go with it, I guess. Why do I have the hardest time finding this show in the list of shows on Mal? Because it's lower than I think it should be. This episode we focus a little bit on. I'm not gonna remember his name.
Tsunehiro?
No, who's the Thai guy?
Arwa?
Yeah, it's ARUA, but they say it like
Ottawa.
Yeah.
Arua.
We
Hey,
meet
Ottawa and Ice.
we meet him for a bit because they go and they catch a cool, scary looking fish. Because Hero's getting used to his new reel. They catch the fish, bring it back, and because Ara is both a cook and a fisher, and also wants to be a fighter. Was that what it was? Was that his other dream, was to be a fighter? No, he wanted to be a cook. No, he wanted to be an action star. That's what it was.
Yeah, action
He
star.
wanted to be an action star. He came from Thailand to Japan to fish and vibe and learn to cook food. And then Ice comes in and is like, "Hey, also from Thailand. Give me food. We're eating lots of food. Also, we should maybe do stuff. Don't eat a lot, Hero." And Ice walks out. And then Hero's in the store, and some guy comes in and starts speaking Chinese. I love the fact that they don't translate a goddamn thing about this scene. They just let you sit here, and
it's so good.
And
that's the immersion. They have no fucking clue.
Hey, he said thank you at the end. That's 4 years of Chinese of Chinese in high school coming in clutch for me.
Yeah.
It's like me when I hear German and I go, I know that one. Yeah, they said thank you.
But Hero is not having a good time trying to talk to this customer. And the customer is not getting that he does not understand anything that he is saying. And then Ice walks in. But what's this? She's tall and a regular human being, not drawn in chibi proportions. So Hero has no idea who the fuck this blue-haired woman is. It could be Miku for all he knows.
Miku!
And in fact, after she handles this conversation, we find out she might be Miku. We find out that Ice is a professional model and cosplayer, as we get to see her in a Albedo and a Tanya cosplay. Let's go Brains Base. Let's go Nut, baby. Studio Nut just fun.
Right?
Why did Studio Nut? How did Studio Nut get? Because they don't do Overlord. How did they get this? I guess because they do the Isekai Quartet stuff. That they were like, we're friends good enough. We'll take an Albedo cosplay. It works. Because Tanya is their studio. And she's like, you know what, Hero? We should go get Thai. And me, I'm like, oh, they're gonna get Thai food. And Hero goes, we're gonna go to Thailand? And everyone goes, no, we're going fishing. And I go, okay. And then they go fishing on a boat, so Koze doesn't come, because she refuses to go on a boat because she gets terribly seasick. So she goes hide in a corner and goes, I will not enter a boat. So the gang is going fishing on a boat. The gang is going fishing on a boat. I don't remember the type of fish they caught. I should. It's a striped fish of some variety. It's red. It's cool. It looks neat. And some stuff happens on this fishing trip. Something that happens earlier in the episode. Orat is talking to Hero and he's like, yeah, I want to cook. I want to be an actor. What are your dreams? And Hero malfunctions because he doesn't know what that word means. He's never once thought about what his life will hold out for him.
Like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah. He's like, I don't have time to think about dreams. But he, of course, doesn't say that. But they get on the boat. They do some fishing. Everyone's having a good time. People are catching stuff. And Hero gets sick. Very badly sick. And then Ice comes over and it's like, hey, back in the boat, buddy. And then she also gets sick. And so they're vibing in the cabin together, resting their stomachs. And they're just, they have it, they talk about, I want to say, I don't remember the exacts of their conversation here. This one. Because I remember the one later. But they talk a little bit. It's generally, I think Ice tells a little bit more about herself. She shares a lot of, she likes to share proverbs, which are neat. They do some more fishing. They caught a bunch of stuff. They're getting ready to go home. And on the way home, Hero stops and he's like, Ice, if theoretically, hypothetically speaking, a friend of mine, someone I don't know, who could say, we're to die in 2 years' times and know they're going to die in 2 years, would you still give it your all and look forward to the future? Like, you say you wake up every day, you know, you seize the moment. Like, would you do that if you knew you had 2 years left to live?
Approaches.
Yeah, and Ice is like, all honesty, probably fucking not. That'd probably terrify me. And like I would go and tell people who are important to me, like Aura, and like probably the rest of you too, because you know we're all good friends. I would go do that. That would probably be the right thing to do. And so they part ways, and Hiro finishes his shift at work. He stops by a river, and he tries to call somebody who I don't think we know who this is yet. I don't know if it's one of his buddies from school. I don't remember their names enough to know if it's one of them.
The name?
Yeah.
Tsuji Mori, that's Takaki's name.
Is it Takaki?
Yeah, that's Takaki.
That's his first name.
Yeah, so he goes and he calls.
There's like a whole bit in episode 2 where like people are mispronouncing it.
Yeah.
That's how I remember the really long name is his.
So he goes to call Takaki. I wonder what he was going to talk to him about, but he doesn't pick up. And also on his way out of the shop, Ice is like, "Oh, your shift's ended? What? My shift's ended. Bye." And Hiro comes home. Well, comes to Takaki's apartment because that's where he lives too. And they surprise him with a welcome to working at the supermarket party, and everybody makes him a bunch of food. And Hiro tries some food that he originally was like, I don't really like that, but he's trying to be more open with these people and try to get to know them better and actually have friends. And then he realizes that he's been alone a lot of his life, and this actually means a lot to him. And he starts crying, and Hana bullies him for crying because she's a gremlin. And that's largely
funny.
That's largely this episode. I really like I am missing some of the intricacies of the conversations between him and Ice this episode. Because they have more conversation than just the one on the walk back. But basically every character conversation in this episode is really well done. It's great conversations for these characters. It's a good way to get the group to vibe. Hiro isn't a massive asshole for no goddamn reason to people in this episode.
Right.
Like he's just a human being vibing, having a good time. Like he's actively enjoying fishing. Like he's getting some like
character progression is occurring.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful.
And I also just really I really like Ice. I think she's really cool and neat.
She's great.
I just fucking what a wild character to throw at you. I do think that there is something. I like that all these characters are really goofy in a very unique way. Hana has her hair that's just fucking whatever the fuck she's doing with that. You have the little guy who's spoken once, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, he speaks," and he's just vibing in the background.
Voice ever.
Yeah. And then you have Ice, who just occasionally grows into a full ass person. I think it's crazy that her Tanya cosplay, she's in full height and not just in gremlin mode, because that would be more accurate height representation for the cosplay. But what do I know? I almost think of it as like a visual indication of like, this is her when she's relaxing. This is her when she's in business mode. So she looks like a real functioning human adult in those moments. I don't know why she's just a gremlin, but a different kind of gremlin.
Yes.
There we are, advanced gremlin.
Also, just him attempting to flounder through the conversation with the guy speaking Chinese by trying to speak English shittily is very funny because he just cannot understand what
I don't know what language you're speaking. English.
Can we find the middle ground, please, sir?
I don't know whatever you're speaking. You don't know Japanese. Do you know English? But you know what? Probably isn't a bad thing to try.
No, honestly, not at all.
Common ground in Japan. You take it.
Yeah.
This episode
was fucking awesome.
It was like, it's legitimately like my favorite like so far. I think like the conversation and the depth of like what Ice is saying to Tsunehiro is like actually getting to him and like actually thought provoking, which is, you know, definitely a first. It's not just him, you know, simping on Kozue or just getting gremlined all over by Hana. It's just like an actual like another really good in-depth conversation that forced him to think and, you know, hopefully not to make shitty choices.
I really like that he poses that hypothetical. Right? I think it's really it's a incredible leap for him from where he has been to be like, hey, if you were to die in 2 years and find out that was gonna happen, what would you do? Because like that is maybe the most vulnerable that man's been in his entire life.
Yeah.
Like, be real.
Also,
this is happening to me. Not happening to me. Happening to someone I know. Trust me.
Also, I enjoy the fact that he's very clearly like getting more into fishing as well. Like, we get points of him like he's not complaining about it as much anymore, and he's actively like finding joy in it now, which I think is a very neat character growth thing as well.
The scene where they high five each other after they both pulled.
Good.
I honestly thought we were gonna. I'm really happy we didn't. I thought we were gonna do a bit where they hooked each other's lines somehow, because they started pulling up at the exact same time.
Mhm.
I also think there's something really. I really like the way the scene is done, where they're told to use restraint, and so they're just saying restraint over and over and over again. And the way I can't think off the top of my head.
Sounds like come on.
Yeah, I don't know how that scene would translate in an English dub, because like to me that scene just works so well, because what they're saying and what it sounds like to you as a English speaking viewer is a really cool, like, interesting moment in that section.
Like I said, I think for me this show just isn't hitting as good for me as it is for you guys, and that's why it's at the bottom. But I definitely think, like, for me right now, it's like really like it's like Blue Box and Dandadan are like the top two, and then Orb is there, and then it's like the rest of shows that's just kind of like overall and week to week. For me.
You did say they were a very big like pile shuffle for you.
Yeah. So it's like I don't dislike any show. Or in that pile I don't like. I'm not gonna hate watching another episode. I just have preferences for other options in those shows, right? And so that's just kind of where it falls to me right now. But yeah, I do agree it was a good episode, and I like how like the characters are starting to actually progress, and like he's not like moving on from it, but he's actually like showing improvement, I guess is how I'd put it, if that makes sense, right? At least in some aspects.
I will say Ice, when we get our like in like episode 1, when you get like your big cast reveal of like this whole group of the people who work at every like that group that goes fishing, Ice was not the character I expected to be the one that like causes him to open up as much as he does.
I was also
like it felt like Takaki was going to be the one to cause that, like Takaki or Hana, and it's like, oh, it's her. Like that's cool. Like she's a really cool character to do this with. Is what we learn about it. It's just like absolutely not where I expected that to go.
I also really didn't think I was gonna. She was kind of the character I was like, oh, I don't know how much I'm gonna vibe with this character. Because I think in first glance she's one of like the characters who really feel like just a joke in design because it's so different. But I wind up really liking what they wind up doing with her. I think
it's great.
Yeah.
I appreciate when you have characters that shift visual styles depending on what is happening to them at that point, or like what kind of mood they're in. I think it's just very like it's a very fun thing for to see in the animation.
I also just I really like when we looked at where we were last week and like I talked about, I was like, I was worried that we were just going to be using this and like maybe the next couple episodes for more character introductions, and like that is what's happening here. We are still fleshing out the rest of like the fishing crew, but it manages to move the story and hero along in a really good way, where it's like this is also what you should be doing while you're doing this, which is a huge leap from like almost feeling like a step back with the Koze stuff. I do also really like that when they're eating the fish at the end, because it's like, oh, eating fish that I didn't have to get on a boat to catch. And Hana's like, you should have got on that fucking boat. I'm putting you on that boat next time.
Get on the boat next time, motherfucker.
You don't get to escape boats.
You're gonna get boated.
Okie dokie, the results are in.
Okay.
Prove it. Tell
Um,
me the result.
Right Austin, left John. There, proved. So, Donadon, full saves. Blue Box, full saves. Orb, full saves. One slay on Damsel. Mixer. Negative positive Angler. I'm surprised by this. We have a tie. 3 slays on Fiancé
Right.
and TsumaSho. Not what I was expecting.
And
Okay.
both have fiancés.
Not the way I meant that, but yeah.
All right, time to pull up the wheel.
We had a wedding on the other on another one of these shows coming up that was more what I was referring to. Yeah, let's come on. Let's
Wheel.
get that
Wheel.
Wheel.
Austin, this is your first wheel vote off of the podcast. It's only been like 4 weeks, but
Interesting. That almost feels like spam.
what?
I would take a look at our YouTube chat right now. Something tells me
Yeah.
I would have got a little email about that, and that Twitch and that YouTube wouldn't do that via a chat function on stream.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Also,
Send it again. I'm sure it'll.
This time we'll end the stream, trust.
also,
No, YouTube will just take the stream down.
also, I'm
Yeah,
still,
that is,
I'm
that'd be
still
funny.
live.
YouTube support 8.0. Yo, I love.
Yeah. I
No,
know,
you
right?
YouTube
support.
support
Thanks for
7.
hopping in the chat. Great to see you once again.
Also, at some point, I started recording this stream. I hit the button somewhere, or hit a button somewhere.
That's a lot of messages.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
Bro, our interactivity going way through the roof, bro.
Dude, my chat rate's at 18. That's the highest it's ever been. They're still going.
Oh.
Huge. Big follows. All right, we ready?
Hold up. No,
See
give me a minute. Hold on. I timed them out for 30 minutes. That's right, baby. I'm here timing out YouTube support for 30 minutes. Go ahead, Mason. So again, the show this lands on is Slade because
Yes.
it
gets stabbed.
The needle stabs it. Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
it's oh.
Kind of expected.
Close. What do you
I
mean?
mean,
It's a wheel.
You're right.
I always win wheels. Remember?
Anticipated outcome. Exactly.
It
You're
is pretty
right.
expected
I
that
too
it will
expect
land.
one
Back
of
in
the
frame,
two
Austin.
outcomes.
Get the fuck back
Hold
in
on,
frame.
sorry,
Get the
I'm
fuck
sorry.
back in frame.
No.
What are you doing?
I too expect one of two
Yeah,
outcomes.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. We did not
Guys, there was
condone hate
actually
crime,
2
for the
different
record.
accounts doing that.
That's even
Or
crazier.
or 3.
Oh,
There were 4. There were 4 different accounts because we each timed out different groups.
That's
So
amazing.
funny.
Yo, hey, if you guys are still listening, tune in next week. Come back. I love it. Let's get chat interactivity. It'll be great for the rest of the people. Sakif will love it. He'll have great conversation. He'll start rating you guys between each other on whether or not you're 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Do we have an updated PR for that, Sean?
Oh, we did. He did give one at the start of this week. You might not be
Oh,
able to
that's
tell
fine.
given the chat log. So
Yes.
this week it was 1, John and Austin duo, rare pairing. 3, Mason, because there's no 2, because you
Wild.
have a tie for 1, so there's no 2. That's how that works.
Yeah.
4, me. 5, Michael, in parentheses, small gap. Who knows what he means by these things? No one ever does. But yeah, so that was TsumaSho going, right?
yes.
Cool. We get to
Well,
keep
seven.
I like keeping Damsel because it means I can watch a show at work without having to be afraid it's going to do something that's going to get me fired.
Damn, that was Yakuza stayed.
Oh yeah, Yakuza stayed. True. Yeah, Damsel was always staying. I also
Yes.
shouldn't watch Yakuza though at work.
No.
Nope, can't trust it.
No.
I'm slowly the only shows I
That's
can watch at
weird.
work that I feel safe watching because legal sites as well are Angler and this, and even Angler's a toss up because at any moment it could decide to do things.
Fair.
Yeah. But hey, this just simply means I need to stop procrastinating and start watching things at home.
True.
I mean, I watch 80% of the things at home. I just watch.
Austin got to cheat and watch stuff at not home with other people today.
Watching anime with other people? I haven't done that in weeks.
You
Same.
can watch at like a lot of the like 1 or up to 3 shows like at the gym, and I have to like pick and choose to make sure that it's like one of the safer ones, and it's not Dawn to Dawn because explicitly not Dawn to Dawn.
I mean, I could watch Blue Box at work, but then I'm watching on my favorite sites on my phone, and so sometimes I don't feel like doing that on company Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
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 Not worth the risk.
Yeah. But hey, that wraps up this week. I think, Austin, are you saying next week's the week that Sunday might not work for you?
No, next week I'll be like
Just a little late.
slightly late if anything.
That's
but
fine.
I'll probably be back on time. It's the week after. I will not be.
Do I work that week? Is that is
Well-
Sunday bad for me that week? Let me check.
We're gonna figure it out. Probably. Nothing's ever good.
We'll be back someday at some point to talk about anime
Probably.
Yeah.
in some context.
Probably.
Definitely.
7
shows. Next week will be episode 7. Crazy how we've made that work.
Stack the deck.
What do you mean it'll be episode 7?
We're
'cause
watching
it's
episode
this
7s
right?
with 7 shows left.
Let me look at the fucking calendar.
Oh, okay. I'm like, it's episode 4 of us.
It's
I'm-
week
what?
week 5 because
Yes.
we did double.
We have an
Well, yeah,
update.
yeah. No, I called that week 1.5 and week 2.
Oh,
I would say something about us trying to stream on Saturday so that we could
week
we could do
1.5 HD remix.
we could do a 7,
Yeah.
a 7, and a 7. But I'm busy Saturday. We can't fucking do that.
Fair.
So
We'll figure it out.
Saturday is my last day at
yay!
Amazon, so
Let's go!
Fuck that
Let's
shit.
fucking go!
we'll see if I even work this week because back injury.
Hee
Yeah.
hee, haha, back go Kabert.
Yeah. Well,
It's okay. I like twisted the wrong way, Mason, and my back felt like it fell apart. So, we're
Yeah, I
getting
did-
old, man. We're
I
getting
did
old.
that I did that while lifting a 40-pound package.
well,
Did not go well.
Oh, Mason, no.
we're gonna head out for the night. Have a great night, everybody. We'll
All right,
see
we're gonna
you
go make
next
the steaks.
time.